This episode of Off My Shelf contains coarse language and adult conversation. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, my name is Tracy James and welcome to Off My Shelf, a podcast about movies that are, well, off my shelf, where we go through my DVDs and talk about the movies in my collection. In this first episode of what I'm dubbing Bat-a-palooza, Tim McLinnen is here to talk about one of, if not the best animated show ever made, Batman the Animated Series. Welcome!
Hello again.
Hello, yes. Thanks for being here.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
We both are. The funny thing is that we were hanging out, a week and a half ago?
Yeah, it was like last Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things I usually tell people if they're going to be on the show is, I don't want to talk anything about what we're going to talk about on the podcast.
Couldn't help it.
Before we got here. And
could not help it.
Could not help it in any way, shape, or form. Because we were just like, there's so much in it anyways.
There really is.
And I think, being drunk on a Tuesday is still not enough time to talk about Batman. It's not.
No, definitely not.
As a words that we keep saying over and over and over again, it's so good.
It's so good. So
good.
This will be echoed, I'm sure, several times throughout this episode.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I know, English is a very wordy language, and there's very specific words for so many things, including the goodness level of something. But the term so good is, I think, very basic, but also the most succinct way of describing the quality of this program.
It's so good.
Yes. Yeah, we got into that quick. Okay. Yep. So to be, full disclosure, I own Volume 1 and Volume 4 of Batman the Animated Series, and you own Volume 2 and 3. Well, you own...
I've got 1 through 3.
1 through 3.
Yeah.
And you were nice enough to lend it to me so that I can actually, talk about the whole animated series instead of just Volume 1 and 4. Which I'm very happy about.
Very big difference between the two.
Yes.
So you lent me Series 4 or whatever, box set 4. And I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much in the first 3 box sets.
Mm-hmm.
But it changes significantly. The animation style changes.
It does. Well, so one thing I didn't realize, or maybe just forgot, because I've had these for a while, is that technically it's a different show. It's just a completely different show.
Yeah, it's the new adventures of Batman and Robin?
It's the new Batman adventures.
That's weird.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So this series stopped, I think, in 2004 or 2003. There was a break, and then they came back with the new adventures.
Oh, you mean, in the 90s?
Yeah. So, Batman the Animated Series, ended.
Yeah.
Then there was 3 years, and then they came back with this other show.
Oh, okay.
And Volume 4 is just all of the episodes of the other show. Where they did the style was similar, but changed, and they updated, characters, and they updated just sort of, minute things. Most of the voices came back. Some of them were different, and to me it was noticeable, but it wasn't bad. But beyond, the voices and the visual, the show was so much different. How they told stories, how characters interacted with each other. There was, a shift in focus from making, every episode this, epic, movie-level thing to, no, this is a kid's show. Which kind of really bothered me, they dumbed it down, and and the episodes were kind of disjointed. They kind of forgot what Batman the Animated Series was, and this is what you got.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
But isn't it in the 4th season that we get, Harley Quinn's backstory?
You do, and it's a really disturbing episode. It's a outwardly disturbing episode. So what episode is that? Hold on.
So it's I think it's season 5, according to IMDb or something like that.
Oh, yeah, so I should explain that. So, the DVD volumes the way they're listed in the volumes is not how they're listed on IMDb.
Yeah.
Right?
So like, I ran into this because the way that I watched it was I took the DVDs and I ripped them to my computer, and then I have this program that like automatically names the files and sorts them into season folders and stuff. And so the way that has Batman in its like archive or whatever is in the order of air date. Mm-hmm. So it's like the first episode is like the Catwoman one.
Yes.
Not the Cat in the Claw? No.
I think it's the Cat in the Claw.
Okay. So it's like the Cat in the Claw part 1. Sure it's Cat in the Claw. Yeah, it's Cat in the Claw. I was thinking Cat Scratch Fever.
No, that's later on.
Yeah,
yes.
That's later. So,
it's the Cat in the Claw part 1. Yeah.
So Cat in the Claw part 1 is the first episode that was aired.
Mm-hmm.
But in the DVD set, it's like the 4th or 5th episode, I think.
Oh no, I think it's further than that.
Oh. Wow.
Because the first episode on there is on Leather Wings.
On Leather Wings, yeah. Yeah, so it was the first episode produced, and so the DVDs are in the production order.
Yes.
Whereas I wound up watching them in air date order. So like the same order as like IMDb lists them or whatever.
Yeah. The Cat in the Claw part 1 is episode 15.
Oh wow.
In production order. Yeah, which is a huge difference.
Yeah. So in air order they aired Cat in the Claw part 1 first, and then On Leather Wings was episode 2, and it's not until like episode 4 or 5 that you get Cat in the Claw part 2.
Yeah.
So it's like 3 or 4 days or weeks between
it's
the episodes.
Episode what? What is that? That is more than that. That's 7. Episode 7.
Wow.
Or 8. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking at like, if it's airing weekly, that's like 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think is crazy. But in between that, they show like Heart of Ice. Yeah, both the Clayface episodes. It's Never Too Late. Joker's
Christmas
Favor.
with the Joker. Was that in there?
On the DVD, it is, but Joker's Favor is the first Joker episode on here.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like a huge difference. But I think it kind of makes sense because the first bunch of episodes is just introducing villains.
Yeah. And also, like, the animated series, I think it's got the best introduction for Mr. Freeze.
Oh my god, yes.
Heart of Ice is such a good episode.
Yeah, and it's like, I was watching it, I was like, why is this so poetic? Like, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, it's like a early 90s kids TV show about this man whose wife was sick and, like, so he, like, cryogenically froze her.
Yes.
And then, like, his boss, like, came in and, like, literally pulls the plug on her.
Yeah, because he didn't have, like, proper authority or funding for it. And
yeah.
It was a waste of money.
It wasn't funding because he, like, stole the funding from the company or whatever.
Okay, yes.
And so, like, I assume, was it Daggett? I think it's Daggett.
No, I don't think it was Daggett. It was some other businessman.
Yeah, some businessman comes in and, like, yeah, you're spending my money on this project. I'm not gonna make money on this. It's like, yoink, pull the plug.
Pulls the plug. Like, and he's just...
And then leaves him to die in, like, the freeze room or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his dead wife.
Yeah.
His now dead wife. And I think one of the things is that guy was getting some humanitarian award in the episode.
Yeah,
and he was going to, like destroy him getting this.
Yeah.
And what I like about it, too, is the fact that, you know, Bruce Wayne, multimillionaire or whatever, as Batman, finds out what he did to Freeze and then takes down the businessman as Bruce Wayne as well.
He gives him like a different type of justice. It's
yes.
like, whereas Mr. Freeze is gonna like kill him, Bruce Wayne like publicly shames him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destroying his figure, destroying like
everything.
Yeah. Which I thought was beautiful because, I mean, one thing I realized in this show is that besides the Joker, who's just crazy, like he's just a psychopath, all of the villains in the show have very poetic or justified reasons to start their villainy.
Generally, yes.
Quote unquote justified.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because, I mean, like, Two-Face...
Well, yeah. People tried to beat him up and extort him and all that kind of stuff.
I guess.
So, yeah, because his initial thing is he just wants to kill... I think that was Thorn, who's trying to extort him.
Yeah, Thorne was trying to extort him.
Yeah, and he just goes after Thorne initially.
Yeah, but then, like, Batman stops him, and then he just turns to a life of crime?
Well, yeah, because he's all, like, twisted and stuff, so he's like, I can't be normal anymore.
Yeah,
Screw this. So, but I mean, his initial purpose for going out and being bad is for, like, an actual reason.
Yeah.
You know? Even with, like, Clayface, that whole thing is, yeah, sure, he got in an accident and he was vain and all that kind of stuff. He put himself in danger, but what they did to him was horrible, and he just wants revenge on them. Mm-hmm. And then he's stuck in a life of crime. Who else? Poison Ivy. I mean, they bulldozed a field of flowers, so I don't know how. Yeah, that one's an iffy one. I don't know. But, like, that's one of the things. Like, I forgot how well written the episodes are.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
They're, like, just these beautifully done stories that are... Sure, they kind of jump, you know, because Batman's really smart and he's just like, I got it! And then he runs out and then pontificates after.
Yeah. Well, you gotta fit it into 20 minutes, right?
It's true. You can't have him, like, you know... Well, actually, no, there's lots of scenes where he's in front of the computer trying to, quote-unquote, Google things.
Yeah.
That didn't exist at the time, kids. That is true. I love the fact that, like, at one point in time, he's like, I think Alfred comes down and he's like, you've been down here a while. He's like, it's taken me this long to go through microfiche. And I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. I've never had to use microfiche, but,
What?
Yeah. I never had to, like, I don't think I've even seen a microfiche machine.
It's like it looks like a big, it's literally a rear projection screen that has, like, a tape that goes through and you just kind of roll through it.
Yeah, no, I know what it is. I know what it is. I've never used one.
What?
Yeah.
You've never had the fun of the trackball going back and forth?
No, I didn't go to a real college.
No, that was elementary school. I'm not that old. You're hurting my feelings.
Oh, no, I never had one in elementary school. No. Or middle school. Or high school.
You're lucky.
Yeah. Then again, I didn't spend much time in the library in high school.
Oh, I spent no time in the library in high school.
Yeah.
I think the most time I ever spent in that library was... I remember we had to do, like, a video for, like, a science class, and we were, like, taping things around the school. And we were in there for, like, 3 hours and then got kicked out because, like, the librarian got mad at us. And I think that was about it. Yeah. Yeah, that's my high school story. You're welcome, guys.
I love it.
Yes.
I was trying to think of a good segue into a library, but I can't think of one.
Is there an episode with a library?
I mean, there probably is.
I mean, there's video libraries in a couple of episodes where he's talking about, oh my God, we've got to get the cassette. Dead technology.
Oh, yeah.
In one of the episodes, he, like, takes the cassette and he pulls out, like, the actual, like, ribbon. And uses it to make, like, a pulley system to whatever.
Oh, yeah, when he's stuck in the bank vault.
If that was now, it'd be like, you know, a USB key or something. He'd be like, I can't do anything with this. Yeah. And he'd just die.
Can't MacGyver your way out of that.
Yeah. I mean, not even like a safety pin. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, I'm pretty sure that the ribbon in that film probably would not have supported the weight of that, like, bomb.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I was sitting there going, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's good. That's gonna rip. Maybe. Also, it was really long. It was like a full pulley system.
How did he mount those pulleys?
I don't know. You don't ask questions of Batman.
Magic.
You just accept what is happening. Okay, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Because couldn't he have just, like, picked it up and thrown it?
No, because there was, like, the motion sensor in it, so you would have had to be, like, super gentle about it. Which is why he had to rig up the pulley system.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It would have taken too much time for him to, like, slowly, like, push it across the floor or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Something like that.
Yes. We're gonna logic our way into believing Batman has the ability to do these things. Yes. So, like, I don't know. You can't go, despite the fact that I literally took notes per episode that I watched, which is ridiculous in the first place. And at one point in time, it literally just turns into episode, number, and name, and then I skip over. And because it's just, like, I sit there and I watch it, I memorize, I have nothing to say. So good.
Yeah.
And the fact that I noticed a whole bunch of, like, voices in there that I never realized. I don't know how to talk about this show. So.
Okay. Yeah. I have one idea.
Okay.
Top 3 episodes. that you watched? I know it's hard. It's so hard.
So hard.
But like, okay, maybe not even top 3. Just like pick an episode that you want to gush over, and then we'll gush over it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, you first. You pick an episode. You pick an episode.
Let me pull up a list. The Forgotten. Let's start with The Forgotten.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, when I was a wee lad, and this show was still airing on Fox after school at 3:30 p.m. Or whenever it actually aired, I distinctly remember this episode. And I don't know why. I have, like, a couple ideas. Like, there are, like, a couple scenes that are just, like, iconically burnt into my head.
Yeah.
One of which, so this episode is an episode where a bunch of homeless people start going missing. And turns out that this, like, really fat crime boss is, like, taking them out to a quarry to do, like, mining for gold or something.
I don't think they were ever clear what they were mining for, but they were mining for something.
They were just, like, it was cheap labor to work in a mine, effectively. And so, like, Batman goes undercover as, like, a homeless man, and then, like, some dudes in, like, a limo pull up, and it's like, oh, the cars in this show are amazing. Just quick segue there. Or not segue, tangent. But, so these guys in a limo pull up, and it's like, hey, Mac, want a job? And he's like, sure. And then he, like, gets in the back, and then, like, drive him out to this quarry.
No, doesn't he fight them and he knocks them out?
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's like, no, I don't think so. And then they knock him out.
They
knock him out. Yeah. They, like, blackjack him or something. And yeah, okay, so anyways, he, like, wakes up in this, like barracks or whatever, along with, like, a bunch of other homeless people that he was, like, trying to figure out where they went because they were in the shit or whatever. And so then they, like, start working in a mine, and then one of them does something bad and gets thrown in, like, the sweat box or hot box. Yeah. And it's like, so it's like the scene where they're, like, in this, like, metal box painted black, and the sun's, like, coming up, and it's, like, midday, and they're like sweating.
Oh yeah, and they're talking to each other through the box.
Boxes. Yeah. For some reason, like, that's in my mind. The other thing that's in my mind is the music that plays while he's, like, trying to escape. Oh yeah, because he loses his memory too, so he doesn't know he's Batman.
But yes, that's a key point, because that's one of the reasons why he's there for quote unquote so long. Yeah, because he's like, I don't know where I am or who I am, but he knows that he's like, this isn't right. Yeah, we can't do this, and he still tries to help the people around him. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So when he's escaping, and, like, sort of the theme of the episode is, like, the music that is like, bwah, 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 bwah. And it's just, like, it's so simple, and it just gets stuck in your head.
But it's also, like, because all of the episodes up until, well, based on how I watched it, maybe the same way as you, the music was a very specific way until that episode. It was super orchestral, it was super classic, it was super, like, I'm a superhero, you know, like, it was just grand. Yeah. Whereas in this episode, all of a sudden, you have, like, that opening sequence, it's amazing, it's big, it's powerful, it's like, Batman! And then all of a sudden you're just like, why is this depressing? What is going on? Yeah. This is odd. And, like, they just kind of change the overall tone, and what is it? It's like, there's, like, a heavy bass and, like a guitar or something, and it's not...
It's sort of like your standard Western motif
sort of thing, yeah, but it's not...
But it's, like, it's slightly different.
Yeah, it's hard, like, it's a hard sound to describe. Yeah. But it's so distinct. Yeah, and it's true. I mean, that's actually one of my favorite episodes as well, and I actually have the same experience as you, where I remember this episode just distinctly. I just do. And I remember for years, like, I think maybe it was one of the episodes I didn't replay very often. And for a long time, I was just like, did I make this up? Wasn't, like, Bruce Wayne homeless at some point, and he was like being whipped by some fat man? Like, I swear this was an actual thing. And then one day I saw it and I was like, yes, there it is. There it is. I'm not crazy. And I think the thing is too, is like, I guess because I saw it so young, like, my memory of it was weird because, like, in the episode, he disguised himself and he has, like, white hair and stuff. And so I was just like, it's Bruce Wayne, but it's not Bruce Wayne? You know, like, my memory of it. And then I saw the episode, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense now. And one of the other things I liked about it was Alfred flying the Batwing.
Yes.
You know?
But, like, being very bad at it.
Being very, very bad at it. It was just comical.
It's like, at one point in time, it does a roll, and then all of a sudden he's upside down. Like, does he not wear a seatbelt?
He wore a helmet.
He did wear a helmet,
yes.
So, I mean, safety first.
Definitely.
And also, on that note, the amount of people in Gotham City that do not wear seatbelts is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the number of times that somebody's just been, like, pulled out through a window, it's like, it's countless. It's countless.
Well, I think that was before the, like, you gotta wear seatbelts thing.
Early 90s? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, because I think, like, end of the 90s, early 2000s, like, shows actively were like, no, show people putting on a seatbelt.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, what was I watching the other day? I think it was, like, Gravity Falls or something. And, like, every time they get into a car, Mabel says, I think, yeah, that's what it is. Mabel says safety first, and everybody puts on their seatbelt. Yes. So it's, like, ingrained to minds, you know, get in a car, put on a seatbelt.
That's another amazing show.
It is so good. It's one of those shows where they made it for kids but didn't make it for kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not something that had like a history. It's not like you gotta read a novel or know a comic book or whatever. It was just a brand new world. They just made something up, and the story alone is fantastic, you know, and they're also ludicrous.
And full of Easter eggs.
So every time I watch an episode, I'm like, I didn't see that before. Oh, did you? Oh my God, that's right. It's one of those things.
Speaking of things that are so good, you pick an episode
now.
If you're done with the Forgotten.
I am not done with the Forgotten.
Okay. So, Alfred in the Batwing.
So Alfred in the Batwing, and the other thing was, like the episode, like the part that you liked, with them in the sweatbox and stuff. I love the fact that Bruce Wayne, who doesn't know he's Bruce Wayne, right? Who's like, I'm just this weird guy who doesn't know anything that's going on or what's happening or whatever. But you know what? This is a good person. I'm going to make sure nothing happens to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's still like true to his ideals, I guess?
Yes.
Even though
his ideals / identity.
Yeah.
Without knowing his identity in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even at the end of the episode, like, he goes out of his way to find those guys. And it's like...
Yeah.
Like, of course they make a joke like, I hope I get hit on the head and I wake up a millionaire.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
But he's like, look, you guys need anything? You guys need some help? Call me. I'll give you guys a job. I don't care. You're good people.
Yeah.
I'll make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's great. Things like that.
I actually kind of hated that episode for a while. Because
Really?
it was like the only episode that like I would see, at least during like some reruns.
Mm-hmm.
So it would just be like, I would like flip to it and it's like, oh, this episode again, I kind of hate it. But having not watched it for the better part of like 20 years, it's good again.
Yeah. You had obviously the opposite like experience with me in that episode because I never saw that episode.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why I liked it was because A, it seemed mysterious, and B, it was just so different than everything else.
It does not take place in Gotham whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no real Batman antics until the very end.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just Bruce Wayne pretending not to be Batman and getting himself in trouble.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love it.
Great. It's great. One of my favorite episodes, which I think is probably one of a lot of people's favorite episodes, is Feet of Clay. I know there are 2 parts. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna talk about those as one episode.
Yeah, no,
because
that's fair. It's one story.
Yeah, and it's hard to separate because like, the way they build the characters and what's going on in the first episode is so integral to the second episode.
Yeah.
That you can't not talk about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, Feet of Clay is the episode with... Oh god, what's the actor?
Oh.
Well, it's the episode with Clayface.
It's Clayface, but...
But before Clayface was Clayface, he was an actor who was using a chemical on his face to hide some scars from an accident that he had, right? Mm-hmm. And apparently after using it for years and years, he was actually physically addicted to it. But he was sick of paying... It was Thorn.
That was Daggett.
No, that was Daggett.
Daggett.
Yeah, because he's the chemical guy.
Yeah.
He was sick of paying Daggett, who is like a rich bad guy who runs a chemical company that does...
He's like a businessman in general.
Yeah, but it's mainly
it's
like...
mostly chemical related.
Yeah, but it's like cosmetics and like shampoos and hairsprays and stuff like that. And so he gets himself addicted to this stuff. So Daggett has like something over him to make him do bad things. Do jobs for him. And one day he's like, I'm sick of it. I'm going to steal this stuff from Daggett. And what Daggett's henchman does is literally drown him in it. Like, they feed it to him to drown him in it. And it affects his body. And because of that, his whole body becomes like clay. So he can morph into different things and whatever.
So one thing that you missed is that when he puts it on his face, he can look however he wants.
Oh, yes. You can mold it to your face, the stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Because, like, he's, like, actually very deformed when you see him without the clay on his face.
Yes. And as an actor, that's not a good thing, right?
Well, I mean, what's his name?
Mark Hamill?
Well, I wasn't going to go with Mark Hamill. It was the other one.
Which one?
Gary Busey.
Oh, yeah. But Gary Busey had more... Sorry, Gary. Had more mental issues after his accident than physical issues. Because he pretty much looked the same. But I mean, even like Mark Hamill, his accident when he was coming back for The Empire Strikes Back, they put in that whole scene with the... Oh my god. Is the Wampa that's the monster? No.
Yeah, I think that's the
okay.
Yeah.
That whole thing where it like bashes his face and whatever was to have a justification for the scars on his face, for example, you know? Yeah. Sometimes if you've got good employers, they'll do stuff like that for you, but apparently that's not for this guy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he becomes Clayface, and he wants revenge on Daggett. But of course, you can't kill people in Gotham while Batman's around. So he swoops in and figures stuff out and tries to stop him. And it is just, like, the horrible things they do to this guy, they do literally, you see a shadow of it. You don't actually see it happen. Mm-hmm. And I think I found that more terrifying or more, disturbing.
Yeah.
Than if they had, like, just shown what was going on, like them pouring the stuff on his face or whatever, you know? Because they're so mean and, like, they're really, like, callous.
Yeah.
You know? Compared to even, like, the Joker, he's crazy. You get it.
Yeah. He likes things that explodes.
Yeah. But whereas this guy, they're like, no, we're gonna destroy you.
The other thing, too, is that it's not even, like, Daggett doing it. It's his henchman.
Mm-hmm.
Daggett just told him to, like, take care of him.
Yeah. And they're like, well, you want this stuff? Well, we're gonna give you the stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And throughout this whole thing, he's got his, like, best friend or whatever, who's, like...
Oh, yeah, his agent.
Yeah. Yeah, who's just, like, covering for him and trying to help him and be like, you know, maybe you should see a therapist. Maybe, you know, you might want to come out to people and be like, look, this is what I look like, unfortunately. We can do something else with it or whatever. And it's just kind of, like, this sad, like, relationship. Like, it's platonic and all that kind of stuff, but it's just... He loves this guy. Like, you know, he just wants to do everything that's good for him.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and I think when
it's very sad.
It's very sad. It's very, very sad.
I remember thinking that as well when I was watching the episode, and it wasn't until you, like, brought it up that I remembered it. It's like, man, I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah. And you feel more bad for him than you do for Clayface, you know? Like, something horrible's happened to Clayface, but you have this guy who's here.
Yeah, just, like, collateral damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's one of the things that makes the series work so well is that they don't forget the secondary characters. They're not screen fillers, you know? Like, they're not background. No, this person is part of this person's life, so what happens here is going to affect this person here, and we're going to show all of it.
Yeah. I think there's like a little bit of that with Catwoman as well, her assistant.
Yes, her assistant, and there's the whole episode with, they go looking for the cat Isis, and I'm just like, they do it well. They do it well.
It's very well written.
Yes. Again, so good.
So good.
And then that comes to Feet of Clay episode 2, where you have Clayface at, like, where does the ending happen? Like, they're at, like, the studio or something. Oh, because Daggett is going on TV hawking stuff, right?
Hawking the Clayface
Yeah.
stuff.
And Clayface goes there to show the people who he really is, kind of thing, right? And you're like, and he goes out there, and you know what? He's right. He's like, Dang, you need to tell them this stuff's addictive, you know?
Yeah.
This stuff, you know, makes you so... What was like? There was like 3 things that it does.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's like, Mr. Daggett, what about the addictive properties of the substance? And isn't it true that it was like rushed to market and passed through
testing or something?
Testing or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So Clayface in the audience pretending to be like some
old
lady
woman or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, so then, of course, everybody goes screaming and all this kind of stuff, and Batman shows up, and Clayface is like, no, I'm gonna get my revenge.
Yeah.
And it's the first time you see, well, technically the second, but, like, you see, like, Clayface's, like, quote-unquote powers in its, like, fullness, you know? Where he, like, transforms into stuff, and he can throw his body parts at people.
Yeah, and his, like, hand turns into a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Or, like, a mace or whatever, and it's like, Yeah,
and it's crazy. But the one thing that I thought was the most disturbing, and a lot of people think it's the scene where he morphs into the different faces, which is awesome, right? It's just like, I don't even know how they storyboarded doing that sequence. Like, it just seems so complicated. But right before that, Clayface jumps or stops Batman. His hand turns giant, and he pushes him to the wall and gets him trapped, and he, like, breaks off his own hand and whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes back, and Batman gets loose, and he's got, like, Clayface's, like, giant, solid hand thing, and he runs into Clayface, and his hand embeds into his chest, and it's just sticking out. I sat there, and I was just like, oh my God, you're giving children nightmares.
I don't know if it was from Feet of Clay or the second Clayface episode.
Okay.
Which I'm now vaguely kind of remember. It's got, like, a mold.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I don't remember which one it was from. I think it was the second one now.
Okay.
But it's just like he's like on a table, and then he like melts into like the normal Clayface form, and there's like lightning striking and the stuff in the background. It's like that one freaked me out when I was younger. Yeah, for sure. And it's like it wasn't even like that much.
Yeah, but there's just something about Clayface that is just creepy. Well, I mean, it's just like this big, you know, blob form.
Yeah.
Moving around that can just turn into anything it wants to, and that alone is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so the episode you're talking about is Mudslide, which I actually just watched before you got here. And what it is that he's losing his elasticity, so he can't, like, form back or whatever, and he's got, like, some woman helping him. And to keep a form, she puts him into, like, this machine that presses, like, a quote-unquote, like, suit around him. He looks like a fucking Oscar, which I thought was hilarious. But then, like, when he goes out and does stuff, he has to take it off or, like, burst out of it. But then he literally starts dripping and, like, leaving bits of himself around. Yeah. And it's just...
That's how Batman finds him, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes, it is. And that episode, too, is super... I found it really poignant. Because one of the things at the end of the episode, spoiler, Clayface gets quote-unquote destroyed, right? Because he's outside, he's battling Batman, and it's raining, and if he of course it's like mud, so the more wet it gets, the looser it gets, and whatever. and then he falls off a cliff into water. I guess it's Gotham Bay. And he disintegrates, right? And I was just thinking, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like for a guy who's an actor and wanted nothing more to be in the limelight and be remembered, to disintegrate into literally nothing is
like
just
the worst way to go.
Yeah.
Now I'm more sad.
You're welcome. This is how I think about things.
I see. I'm saying I'm sad, but there's a big grin on my face.
Yeah, because you're like, it's so good. But these are the things I'm picking up as I'm watching this show, where I'm like, they're not letting anything go. They're not giving easy lessons.
No.
They're making these amazing stories that need to be told.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, totally lost on me as a kid. 100%.
But
glad
now...
I bought those DVDs.
Yeah. But yeah, rewatching them now, I'm just like, wow. You know, like, they're just throwing these things at people that just get in your brain.
Yeah.
You know, and they stick with you. And as a kid, yeah, like, I guess if it was a kid with anything, you get, like, the visuals, but you don't really get the meaning.
Yeah.
But then as you get older, you revisit it. And if it's done well, the meaning still comes through in an enjoyable way. And that's what this show does.
Yes. 100%.
Yes. So that's me.
Yeah.
What's another one for you?
Alright, okay. The Laughing Fish.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes.
So the Laughing Fish, basically all the fish in Gotham turn into fish with the Joker's face.
Yes.
They're like, their bodies are white, their fins are green, they have giant red lips and big ol' smiles.
Yes. And as the first fisherman to pull out of the water go, ew.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Yes.
So then, what happens? The Joker goes, and he goes to, like, the copyright office and tries to, like, copyright Jokerfish or whatever, so that he can earn, like, 10 cents per can of tuna, and, like, that sort of thing. You know, 5 cents for sardines, because they're bearing his likeness. And so he threatens the, like, lead copyright guy or whatever, and then it was like, you got until midnight to change your mind. And then, yeah, this is another one from, like, when I was a kid. It was, the fish with the big smile on it is just so iconic that, like, there's no way that I'm not gonna remember that.
Yeah.
And then, like, there's a swordfish missile at one point. That's how he gets the first copyright guy. Because they, like, go to the office and, like, Harley sprays some, like, perfume on him, which is, like, part of a binary agent that makes him go nuts.
Yeah.
And then, like, the second part comes in through the Merlin missile or whatever. It was just, there wasn't even really that much to the episode, because, I mean, it's the Joker, he's just insane.
Yeah, there was a lot of fish
There's
jokes,
a lot of fish, yeah.
puns and stuff.
Yeah, they had, because the Joker takes over a TV station and starts, like, throwing out ads for Jokerfish.
Yeah.
And then, like, Harley sings the, like, little ditty. How'd it go? They're finny, they're funny, they're oh so delish.
I must admit, I did not remember that episode at all.
The only thing I remembered was, like, the fish releasing the gas, and, like, the fish with the smiles on it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remembered from it.
So why do you like it so much, then?
Turns out I don't.
But
It was just, like, an iconic episode.
Yeah.
From my mind. And then it just kind of fell flat a little bit.
you watched it and you're just like, okay.
Yeah. It was like, okay, Joker's at it again.
But I mean,
it's kind of funny.
Isn't that the episode where, like, Harley calls him Puddin' for the first time when he, like, supposedly, like, died being by a shark?
I don't think so. Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, because at the end he gets eaten by a shark. Because he was, like, hiding out in the aquarium.
Yes.
And he's gonna feed, like, Bullock and Batman to the shark.
Yes.
But then they escape, and the shark gets into the bay, and
he gets knocked into the bay or punched into the bay.
No,
or something?
he jumps in, I think, because Batman, like, chases him up to the roof, and Batman chases him up to the roof, and then he's like, "There's nowhere to go, Joker," and he's like, shrugs, and he's like, "I guess you're right." Turns around and jumps off the roof, and then he, like, pulls like a ripcord for like a parachute, and then like a rubber ducky appears around, or like a duck floaty appears around. Yeah. He's like, "See, Betsy, I think of everything." And then you see like a shark. And then you see the shark circling below him. And he's like, ugh.
Yeah, that's the thing about like all of the Joker episodes. The reason, like, nothing really happens in those episodes, and you see like of course he's got a scheme going on. Even Batman's just like, I don't know why he's doing it. He's just doing it because he's the Joker.
Yeah.
Fine, and we accept that, right? Because that's who the Joker is.
Yeah.
But he is still so creepy and menacing, and like he's legitimately like you need to fear him, you know? Like it's just one of those things.
He's so chaotic that like you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's you can kind of guess, and you might be kind of right, but there's no way that you're gonna be like, it's like, oh, he's doing this because he doesn't follow any logic.
That's true. And even when you think he's going to do something, he doesn't, because he's just like, that would defeat the Joker or whatever. And you're just like, oh, okay, what?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's another episode where some guy opens up a casino, and so this is another Joker episode. And so, like, Joker's, like, in Arkham Asylum and, like, watching TV, and it's, like, the grand opening of the casino. And it's, like, Joker's Wild Casino.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, Joker faces everywhere. The, like, dealers are dressed up like Jokers and Harley Quinns. And it's just like, what? That guy's stealing my bit. And then he, like, goes to blow it up. But it's like, yeah, that's what the guy who built the place wanted him to do to get the insurance money. And then it's like, instead of going through with it and blowing the place up, the Joker, like, disarms his bomb and just tries to kill Batman.
He is a character that doesn't like to be controlled or to be considered predictable.
Yes.
And then as soon as he was considered to be predictable or controlled, he was just like, nope, not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna take this guy out, clown to man.
Yes. And that's exactly what happens, right? Yeah. But the funny thing is, like with every other episode, Batman's like, you're not gonna do what you need to do, fine. But Bruce Wayne is like, I know you were like gonna partake in insurance fraud. We're gonna shut this down.
Yeah.
And that guy gets in trouble. So he still gets justice, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Now I have to think of an episode, right?
Yeah.
Crap. There's so many episodes.
Oh, there is.
Actually, you know what I want to talk about?
Do tell.
The episode called Mad Love from Volume 4.
Okay,
so we already brought this one up.
Yeah.
That has, like, the quote-unquote origin story of Harley Quinn in it. And I was thoroughly disturbed and slightly offended by this episode.
So, I haven't seen it in so long, and I don't even remember all of it. I just remember that, like, Harley Quinn was, like, the Joker's psychiatrist for a while, or, like, a nurse or an orderly or something?
She was brought in as a psychiatrist.
Okay.
She was new to Arkham Asylum when she met the Joker, and, like, they warned her, he's like, no, he's a kind of a trickster, he's gonna try to find his way out, and blah, 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 be very wary of him. And she's like, oh, no, it'll be fine. I'm a psychiatrist. I can spot these things. That's not a problem. Right? That was pretty much it.
Yeah. That's foreshadowing.
So that's foreshadowing. But the thing is the episode doesn't start there, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's like, okay, so one of the things that makes me mad about this season, that season in particular, is that they seem to have forgotten the actual purpose or intentions or rationale behind certain villains. The Joker was one of them. They made him want to rob banks and stuff to get money because he was broke. Yes, that is the proper reaction.
I feel like the only reason the Joker would actually want to rob a bank is for some sort of other grander harebrained scheme of his.
Yes. Yeah, and it's not like he hasn't robbed banks or he didn't grab money from anywhere before.
Yeah.
But when he grabbed that money, whatever, he wasn't like, I want to be rich, so, la-di-da. It was just so he can lure Batman into something, or he can, like, torture some other villain about something, or pay off some guy to get information on who Batman is, right? So it was a harebrained scheme, not for him to be rich, but just to, facilitate the madness.
Yeah.
That was it, right? Whereas this one, it starts with him and Harley robbing a bank and him complaining that they're broke and have no money. And Batman stopped them, so they didn't get any money, and they need to rob a bank again. And I was just like, this isn't working.
No.
This is not correct.
No. Yeah, that's a little weak.
So what happens after that is they're at the Joker's hideout. Harley Quinn comes in. She's got her motley little hat and her makeup on, and she's in lingerie. Okay? She literally crawls on all fours around a table in front of the Joker trying to entice him. And he literally picks her up and throws her on her face. That's what happens.
Okay.
First of all, it's a very inappropriate sequence. And then he is outwardly violent towards her. And I was just like, oh my god.
That's kind of their relationship in general?
It is, but there was something overly malicious about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's it wasn't a shut up Harley and busy. Yeah. It was if they could have, they would have put swearing in it. Like, shut the fuck up, Harley. He kicks her, throws her on her face.
Yeah.
Like, it was, overly malicious. And even, I was sitting there watching it and I was just like, oh my god, this is not right.
They showed this to kids?
Yeah, in any way, shape, or form. And so she literally lands on her face. Her butt's in the air, and she's in tiny lingerie. And she starts thinking about the past and how she ended up there and all that kind of stuff. And that's when you get the backstory. Okay? And then she's like, oh, I'm gonna save my pudding, whatever, and gets him out of Arkham and whatever. And from that point on, it's Harley and the Joker.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? But then to make him happy, she comes up with a scheme. He's got a drawer of schemes, the Joker. And she's like, you know what I can do? I can do this scheme to capture the Batman for him to make him happy. Which she's successful at. She catches the Batman. And the Joker gets so mad that she was able to do what he couldn't do, that he beats her, lets the Batman go, right?
Yeah.
And and she ends up in the hospital.
What?
And at the end of the episode, she's like, I'm done with him. I'm done with everything he does. But then, in her hospital bed, she receives a flower. I forget what the flower, it's a note from the Joker on it, from him. And she's like, oh, I love my pudding. And that's the end of the episode. And it's just...
So, abusive relationships 101.
Yes. And I'm like, but why are you showing this to children?
Yeah.
It's awful. It's really, really awful.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, that is awful. Yeah, I don't know.
There was just so much... I really don't understand. Even for the time period where, yes, it was the 90s, a lot of people got away with things they probably should have gotten away with on TV. But this was, overly malicious and overly dark, and, it wasn't teaching any lessons. It wasn't, trying to be you know what, get out of a bad relationship, because all these bad things are going to happen. Get out of it. By the end of it, she gets out of it, and she's like, oh, I'm going to go back to him because he sent me a flower.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing. And
I feel like maybe because you're on the outside looking into this relationship, maybe you're able to, realize, exactly what happened. It's okay, why is she hanging out with this guy? And it's just that's it, I'm done with him. It's yes, you did the right thing. And it's just a simple token of a flower, and you're right back in. It's just okay, you're done. So, maybe that's what they were trying to go for?
Maybe, but it did not come across that way.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, because they showed why that flower token would have been important to her, because he had done that to her before, right?
Okay.
And, her, memory of, how they ended up together. And so the fact that they actually brought it full circle back to that again made it even worse, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just kind of awful.
Yeah.
Also, one of the lines she told the Joker at that point when she was in her lingerie was, "Don't you want to rev up your Harley?"
All the puns.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the thing in the episode is he pushed her out of a window and left her to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. He pushed her out of a window. That's why she ended up in the hospital. FYI.
Alright.
But mind you, in the episode, the Joker says a hilarious pun, which is, may the floss be with you. There was something to do with floss at some point in time, and I thought that was hilarious.
That is pretty good, especially because it's coming from Mark Hamill.
Exactly. So, it was great. But that's all I have to say. Like, it's not one of my favorite episodes. It's definitely an episode that I think should, A, not have been made in the first place. People should have been questioned about it. Mm-hmm. But it does... I don't know if it teaches a lesson, but it does show you what an abusive relationship is. And, you know, why chicks sometimes go back. But don't do this, kids. Don't. That's a PSA episode. Yeah. Don't be like these people show episode. See what I mean? That's the episode.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping that would be like a standout for that like fourth box set.
No. I think it was really interesting how they showed how she became Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. And like at first, of course, like with any relationship, at first, yes, he was psychotic, but like there was a mutual liking, I guess, whether he was faking it or not. Mm. You know, like he was mean to her, abusive or anything. But of course, with abusive relationships, as soon as you get what you want out of someone, they can go fuck themselves pretty much, right? Mm. So it was one of those things.
Yeah.
So like I found it interesting how they, because within the actual show, Harley Quinn just appears an episode and she's just a henchman.
Yeah.
And at first, like all the episodes I've seen with her in like as Harley Quinn in the show, besides Volume 4, she's just been a henchman, pretty much.
Yeah, she's like number one henchman.
Yes.
But yeah, basically just a henchman.
Yeah. You know, and there's no like they're in a relationship kind of thing going on.
There's no vibe like that. It's like she might be in on the joke, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you skip over and you get to an episode like this and you're just like, oh my god, this is all kinds of horrible. So, that's all.
How often does this happen?
Every day. Yeah, that's dark territory. What is an episode? Let's make an episode you'll like.
All right. Okay, so this is another standout from when I was younger.
Okay.
Is the first episode with the Riddler.
Oh, yes.
I forget what it's called. It's like the Minotaur's Maze or something?
No. It is,
Oh, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that the Riddler was a game designer.
Yeah, neither did I. The only thing I remember from that episode is the hand of fate. Mm-hmm. And the big flying hand that comes in and picks you up. And then, like, Batman reprograms it to take him to the center of the maze.
Yes, destroy the Minotaur.
And then fight the Minotaur.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember about that episode, and that the Riddler was in it. But then, like, watching it, it's just like, oh, he programmed this, like, video game that Robin is playing on Batman's supercomputer.
Yes.
Which I would like to point out, probably that game would not run on that supercomputer based on processors and stuff like that because I'm a big nerd.
Really? Why? Well, because it was just like a flat, like, maze thing. Why wouldn't it run on the supercomputer?
Well, just programming.
Go ahead.
Stuff.
No, nerd. Do it. Do it.
All right. So, you know how PlayStation 3 games don't run on PlayStation 4s?
Yes.
That's why. It's because it's a completely different CPU architecture. Mm-hmm. So the PlayStation 3 has, like, one main CPU core, and then it's got, like, 8 side cores that do, like, one very small thing very, very fast. So if you've got,
okay.
So, like, if you want to, like, update a lot of, like, coordinates in, like, for, like, your vertexes of your, like, 3D models, you, like, pump a bunch of those through the, like, small cores. And they're really good at doing that really fast. Mm-hmm. But on the PS4, they got rid of those small cores, and now it's just like your standard, like 4-core CPU or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it's just sort of like a general purpose thing.
So with that upgrade, is it like PS3,
okay, actually,
right? So can PS3 play PS2 games or no?
It can. Mm-hmm. Well, some of them can, but that's only because they actually included PS2 hardware in the PS3 originally.
Gotcha. Okay.
And same thing with like the PS1. Mm-hmm. So actually, a better analogy here would be like why back in the 90s you couldn't play Mac games on a PC.
Well, yeah.
It's because the processors are different.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Also, PCs are better. FYI.
Yeah, you can still afford to get like a decent rent.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I gotta admit that game looked lame even for that time period.
Yeah. Also, it used sound effects from Super Mario Brothers.
Did it really?
Yeah. So when Robin's playing it, the like Griffin's following him and like breathes like a fire. All you hear is like Mario going down a pipe, Mario jumping, Mario throwing a fireball.
I love the fact that you know exactly what the sound effects are too, because I did not pick that up at all.
Yeah.
I must admit, as a kid, I was never a console gamer. That is because our household were computer people, and we had to choose pretty much. It's you want a computer or you want a console. Mm-hmm. We chose computers, whereas all of our other friends had consoles, didn't really have computers. So, I missed out on the whole. I'm obsessed with Mario and Tetris, and I'm just like, Sega Street Fighter and Commander Keen. I don't know what you want from me. Yes.
That's fair. I mean, like. I grew up with Game Boy was my jam. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't until later that I got a Sega Genesis. I
did not have a Game Boy until like 2002 or something when I found one at a garage sale. But I had to keep it plugged in all the time because it couldn't retain charges anymore. And then we had another garage sale and I got rid of it. It's fine. Yes, done. That's all I got.
Hey, you know what? You enjoyed your time with your Game Boy, though.
I did. I was just like, oh, this is what people are all about. Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know about the technology. I knew it exists. I know what it is. People can make jokes and references. I get it.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not a huge nostalgia point for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I prefer Batman.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Batman.
Yeah, there you go. So I mentioned to you earlier that I had noticed a shift in animation style at one point. Mm-hmm. And so this episode that you're talking about, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich, is episode 12 in volume 2 of that. So that's something like 36 episodes I've watched so far.
For me, it was episode 41.
Oh, yeah. So it's even further.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I was watching it, I guess because I'm watching it back to back continuously, this was kind of easy for me to pick up.
Yeah.
The visual, like, not really, I don't know how to describe this. It's not really the visual style of the show. The character design, all the stuff were the same. Mm-hmm. But there was something about the animation, like their actual, like, movement and stuff like that.
Okay.
That to me popped out and was clearly different. Like they sent the stuff to like a new studio or something and they were doing things slightly differently.
Okay.
And I hated it. I liked the story, but the style was just overly distracting to me.
Interesting.
And I noticed that for a couple episodes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't picked up on that.
No.
I mean, the Riddler as a character is sort of like, he's a little more smooth and more solid colors.
Yes,
I guess. Whereas, like, generally when you look at other characters, they're more in shadows more of the time.
Yeah, but that wasn't the issue. Like, no? It was literally like, for example, so one of the things that made me notice this was there's like a fight scene, and of course Batman like jumps and rolls and his cape's going all weird. Yeah. Right? But like literally the cape movement, I'm like, that's different. That's not right. Oh. Like, it was one of, like, those things.
Yeah.
Or, like, Robin's expression. So there's a part where they're, like, going over a bridge. And Robin, like, turns around and looks. And I was like, that's anime. Like, it was, like, a... like, really? A completely, like un-American style that they did the motion in.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode now.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like, I mean, like that night I had watched, I think, like 7 or 8 episodes at that point. And like I saw it and I was just like, no, that's not right. That's not right. And then there was the episode where not Day of the Samurai, the one that comes after, the other Japanese one that comes after that.
The ninja episode?
No, it is Day of the Samurai. Yeah, that's the second. That is the second anime. So
okay, so I haven't seen Day of the Samurai yet.
Okay, so in that one, the ninja comes back.
Oh, okay.
And kidnaps the best student of his sensei. And so the sensei calls Bruce Wayne and is like, come and, help me, like, stop this guy or whatever. Yeah. And so while he's there, it looks the same, the animation is the same, until they hit a fight sequence. And there's a fight sequence at the end where they're in a volcano. And I was like, it's different. And then it pops back out after the fight sequence. I'm like, no, it's back to normal. So it's like they were testing out studios or something because they were moving like animation studios or something.
Production or something.
Yeah. Huh. And it was like I found it so. It was one of those things where you're like, it's like Uncanny Valley. You know what I mean? It's the same, but it's not.
Different. Okay.
Huh. And I found it like, ooh, this is weird. It threw me off a little bit. Yeah. And then I think there was one other episode after that I saw, like I noticed that in, but then after that it went back to quote unquote normal.
Back to normal, yeah.
So that was just me. What was I talking about before?
Batman?
Oh, the Riddler episode. Yes.
Oh yeah, the Riddler episode.
So wait, it's iconic, and did you like it? Like I don't.
I liked it. Mm-hmm. I think like having the puzzles. Mm-hmm. was cool, and then it was all kind of very quick.
Yes,
because it's like they did like the 2 years later after Enigma gets fired.
Yes,
and then it's like now he's back for his revenge. Revenge is a very common motivator for these villains. I've noticed. Yeah,
like they're only becoming villains for revenge.
You got Riddler, you got Two-Face, you got I guess Poison Ivy is getting revenge for the plants.
Well, yeah, she only goes against the commissioner and like the mayor and stuff for bulldozing.
Dent, I think.
Yes, it was. Yes, yeah. That's right. It was Dent. She goes after first.
Yeah,
she went over. She went after a couple of people though, or was.
I don't remember. I don't remember that far back.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's like another episode where she opens a beauty spa or like a health spa, and she goes after like billionaires whose corporations are like tearing down rainforests and stuff like that.
There's another episode I found really creepy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she starts turning people into plants.
Yeah. Yeah, because when she showed like the forest and like they're all in these like grotesque like horrified shapes, but they're trees, you know? It's like it's another level of what is it, topiary? It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, that episode actually could have gone a different way, I think. Where like
could have. Yeah.
I don't know, at least in my mind, because like she sends out the invitation to the spa for eternal youth.
Yes.
To the billionaires or whatever, and so she sends one to Bruce Wayne because like he's actively taking part in tearing down this rainforest. But like early in the episode, you see him on the phone with someone being like, "No, I hate it. I love the nature and stuff. So like cancel that deal with this guy who's tearing down the rainforest. Yeah. Just I don't care, do it."
What does he call it? Like a slash and burn outfit?
Yeah, it's a slash and burn outfit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's like I could see like maybe it's like, oh, I canceled that contract like weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Like after he's already there, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but that wouldn't. I don't think she would have believed them anyway.
No, she wouldn't have. But no. Yeah.
But
I feel as though that could have been like an interesting path to take to instead try to like reason with her and like try to like maybe not get her to turn. She wouldn't be able to get her to turn herself in. But, to like at least like not go after Wayne Enterprises.
But that's the thing with Poison Ivy, because even Alfred is there. And he's like, we didn't do anything to you. Yeah. Like, why are you doing this? We're like, well, because you're with Wayne Industries. Boom, you're dead. Like, she's not giving them a chance to explain anything or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Because even if it's like, I don't think you know, they might be millionaires, but not all of them are bad. I'm hoping, right? So, I mean, some of them probably,
there's a scale.
There's definitely a scale. But I think if she allowed some of them to at least explain themselves, she might have changed her mind. But she was not down for any of that,
she was definitely on the black or white scale.
Yes. Yeah. And that's, and an episode like that, like, scenes like the one you're talking about where Bruce Wayne's like, he's on the phone with his company, like, no, this is a horrible thing, don't do that. Yeah. It kind of shows that, you know, Bruce Wayne he's like, even though his public persona is just like a rich playboy, he's a legitimate businessman and he's trying to at least maintain a level of goodness. Yeah. Which I think is awesome. Mm-hmm.
Also Lucius Fox.
Lucius Fox, yes. I hate how lame Lucius Fox is in the show.
A little bit.
But I don't know if that's just because they made him slightly cooler in the Christopher Nolan movies.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Because he's not in the Tim Burton ones or anything, right?
I don't remember, but also it's been a long time.
Yes.
Since I've seen really any of the Batman movies.
But they show like every year, really. Well, I watch TV. People think that's weird, but...
Yeah, I'm sorry. What is this television?
Yes, the air quotes are very necessary. Thank you. I was actually like talking to my friend the other day, and they're like, you watch ads on TV? And I'm like, yeah, I kind of enjoy it. And they think it's the weirdest thing ever. They're like, no, I'm not seeing ads, and why would I fast forward or skip over stuff, or I'm streaming, so I don't ever see ads. And I'm like, okay, that's fine, but sure. Did you see the one for this thing? And they're just like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, exactly.
See, but now you have the heads up on when all the cool movies are.
It's true. It's very, very true. Like, oh, did you see the thing for this movie? Like, no. And that's when they look it up on YouTube and watch it. And I'm like, that's what watching television is all about. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. And actually, the other thing she was telling me was the fact that, so I was at my friend's place on the weekend because Game of Thrones started. She had a Game of Thrones party.
That's
what
true.
Up?
That's a thing that happened?
Yes. Wait, are you not a Game of Thrones person?
I've seen some episodes.
I'm shaking my head at you. That's not acceptable. I need, But like with every season of Game of Thrones, the first season, like the first episode, there's so much hype because the season's starting, and it's the worst episode. Like, it's a crappy episode. But I digress. We're not talking about that right now. Because I will just go on a different tangent. Nobody wants that.
See, the first Game of Thrones episode that I saw was the second last episode of like the second or third season. So like, it was like Assault on Blackwater Bay or something.
Oh, that's the one with the dragon fire and everything else got set on fire? Yeah. And
then Tyrion gets a nice cool little battle scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which in the books is he loses part of his nose and becomes very grotesque. I think they did him a favor, and it also cuts down on the amount of makeup they have put on his face.
True. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it would have been really cool to see like a big hole in his face every episode. That's just me. Yeah. Again, I digress.
Yes. Sorry, I'm guilty on that one as
it's
well.
Okay. No, it's okay. No, but what I'm saying was, so she has a nephew who never knows what he wants, and he always just wants what his dad has.
Oh, this is your friend.
Yeah, this is my friend.
All right.
And she was like, I've never understood what it is, but he figured it out the other day, and he was like, we don't watch anything with advertisements. We don't see anything showing, flashy things for kids and all that kind of stuff. We just watch, like, things that are streaming. And yeah, he sees the cartoons and whatever, but he doesn't know there's toys. He just thinks it's a cartoon. It's something you watch on TV. But I buy stuff, and I have, like, a thing over here and a collectible over here. And he's like, I want a Game of Thrones thing. He's like, you've never seen Game of Thrones. But it's so cool. That's what his kid wants because his dad has it, and he hasn't seen advertisements.
That's super fascinating.
Right? We sat there and had like a half an hour conversation about, and it had to be half an hour because the show started. but yeah, we were all just like, we never thought about like that kind of implication in stuff. Because product placement wouldn't work on a kid like that because he doesn't know it's a product. It's just a thing that's in a show. Yeah. And, like, even if he, like, sees a Coke, he doesn't want a Coke. He just wants something to drink.
Yeah.
But Coke is something, a name he saw in a TV show. But there's no tangible point to it.
I'm fascinated.
Yeah. Because we were all just like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
But us growing up in a generation where ads and product placement and things that were just part of...
always there.
Always there.
Yeah.
We would never think that having a lack of advertising would be an issue.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not like he's buying magazines or anything that he's flipping through and seeing ads in there and stuff.
Or
newspapers, you know. Everything's digital and you can just get rid of ads if you want to. And yeah, and that's what's happening. I thought it was weird.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of cool.
I'm going to consult my list here. Almost Got Him. Almost Got Him was good.
It's actually a really good episode. I agree with you.
So, yeah. I enjoyed it. So this is an episode actually where we haven't even talked about any of the special features on the DVDs yet.
Oh no, we have not.
We've only been gushing.
Yes.
And I kind of love it.
And I'm completely fine with that because it's one of those shows where literally, even if you don't think every episode is the best episode, you enjoy every episode of the show.
Pretty much. Like, I'm trying to think of like a bad episode.
I don't hit bad episodes until I literally get to that volume 4, where I'm like, I don't like 90% of them.
Yeah. That's kind of...
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Almost Got Him. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Or actually a little less than I thought I would. But it was still really good.
I had the opposite reaction because I remember the premise of the episode.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, there's no way that would have aged well. Because I know it was a bunch of vignettes and it was them just remembering some shit about Batman. There's no way that aged well in any way.
Yeah.
And then I watched the episode and I'm like, that aged well.
I did not.
This is wonderful.
So I remember the episode vaguely. Mm-hmm. Again, same thing. It's like, yeah, okay, I know the format. Did not remember the ending.
Did not remember the ending.
Because
I remember thinking, like, Killer Croc, he's like, yeah, I lured him into, what is it, like a cave or something? And then I threw a rock at him. And I was like, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and then, like, all the other villains just look at him and are just silent.
They're like, anyways, and they go back to whatever.
Yeah. It was a really big rock.
And I didn't remember that ending at all. And I'm just like, what the shit?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah. So, so basically, like, all the bad guys go through it. And it's like, I almost got him. And, like, the Joker was like, it's like, this was last night.
Yeah.
And then, like, and then it's just like, well, you didn't. And then, like, Killer Croc stands up and it's, like, actually Batman.
Mm. Well, wasn't the fact that he did that last night and he still had... part of his scheme was still going on, so he had to go back to it or something? Wasn't that the thing with the Joker?
I don't think so.
I don't know. But, okay, it's fine. But like,
yeah.
But yeah, but the whole
no, because the last night was when they strapped him to the electric chair with the laugh-o-meter.
Oh, and he kidnapped Catwoman.
Yeah.
He was holding Catwoman hostage.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then it turns out Croc is Batman.
Yeah.
And
with really good makeup, by the way, because like I definitely had him and like maybe had like a voice changer going.
Something.
Like, I definitely pegged him for Killer Croc.
Yes. I think even the bad guys did too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then everybody else in like the seedy bar they're supposed to be in was actually cops or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm also good at setting traps. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. And then he saves Catwoman at the end. She's trying to seduce him. And then he, like, runs away, and she's like, almost got him.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well, see, because there's multiple ways that you can get someone.
There you go, yeah. Because she was like, we can run away together and leave all the freaks behind and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And she's like, what did he say? I don't know. Of course, it's something like Batman-y and suave, and he's like, blah, 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 and he leaves. And she's like, almost got him. I was just like, oh, I see what you did there. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to admit something.
Uh-oh.
One of the reasons why I love Batman the Animated Series, is Bruce Wayne was one of my earliest crushes. Man is sexy. Man is hot.
You know what? He has quite a chiseled jaw.
He does. But the show has a surprising amount of him just walking around shirtless and, being like, I'm a man.
Yeah.
All the time.
Just like getting out of the shower, got the towel over the shoulders, hitting the gym. Yeah.
Also, I found it, like, I understood it. It wasn't sexual in any way. But there was, like, what episode was there's a one scene where Alfred's literally following around during his morning routine. And he follows him into the shower. He, like, he just gets naked and throws the towel at Alfred, and he's like all like showering and stuff, and I was like, ooh, hot. And then he comes out and like Alfred gives him a towel again. I'm just like, your relationship is too close. Like, maybe it's just I've never been that rich, so I've never had a butler. Maybe that's just a different kind of relationship, and I know their relationship is special and everything, but at the same time I was like, that's a little much.
Alfred knows his secret.
All of his secrets, apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe that explains the car.
What car?
All of his cars?
There are a lot of cars. And they're all beautiful.
Beautiful cars! Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna tangent here a little
No,
bit.
you go. No, because you can talk about these cars. Because those cars are amazing.
I can't even talk about these cars because like they're just like the art style, that Art Deco.
Yes.
Like they've all got those like 1920s tire wells that lead into like the
it's 1940
or 1940s.
Yeah,
that lead into like the fenders or whatever. Like the fenders and the step up. He's got one car that looks like it has a jet engine in the front.
Yes.
That is probably my favorite.
Yeah, because that's the convertible, right?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't. If it's related to the episode that I'm thinking of, then the Studebaker is missing.
I remember that one. I'm like, he knows his cars.
Yeah.
Done, yeah. And also, they have the most iconic, like, Batmobile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
totally.
like, that Batmobile is so gorgeous. Like, it's just it's incredibly phallic. Every time I'm like, it's incredibly phallic. But at the same time, you're just like, that car is, like, just beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The things that it does. Even with, like, the fact that the top of it, like, slides forward. And it makes that,
it's like a jet cockpit.
Yes. Yeah. And it's just, everything about it is just wondrous. Yeah. Absolutely wondrous.
There was an episode that I watched recently where, like, Alfred's tuning it up or something, and so the hood's open.
Oh, I haven't seen that episode.
So the hood opens just normally. But it's, like, an 18-cylinder engine in it. It's, like, insane, and it's just, like, you only see it for, like, a few seconds, but it's just, like...
This is amazing. Yeah, it's so good. But I think that's the thing that makes the show works, is this juxtaposition between old world and new world,
Because you get, like, the like, future tech of, like, robots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then, like, the old school design with, like, police blimps.
Yeah. Like, which I think is the most ridiculous thing ever.
It super is.
But, like, police blimps, who thinks of that shit? But it, like, within the world of this show...
It makes perfect sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
And looks awesome.
Yeah.
Like, looks awesome.
Yeah, even though you got the Batwing, you got helicopters, you got normal planes, police blimps.
Police blimps.
They're just there.
Yeah. Like, what more could you ask for, exactly? Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah, flying Warner Brothers signs. It's
great. It's so, like, it's so good. I keep saying it. I can't stop saying it. And that's the thing with I guess it's set design / backgrounds of the show and everything. Because they went with that Art Deco style, it's just rich, you know? It's just beautiful to look at in general.
Yeah, it's timeless.
It is timeless,
yeah.
Right? Because it's putting such diverging times together.
Yeah.
Even though they're, like I said, they make references to microfiche and cassette tapes and landlines and all that kind of stuff. but because of that, because it's in two worlds already, it can be in any world. Yeah. Really. Yeah. You know? I mean, is this considered to be cyberpunk at that point, or no? Or is that like a different kind of feel? I
probably wouldn't say cyberpunk, but like definitely something like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you what. Like
retro punk
maybe, yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Not like steampunk.
It's definitely not steampunk. Yes, steampunk. That one I know about. Yeah.
But, yeah. I could see something like that being a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But there has been sort of like a, I don't know, I guess maybe it's cyclical, but every few years there's like a resurgence of like a certain retro style and like Art Deco and like even like people with like the type of outfits they wear and all that kind of stuff kind of goes back to it.
We're hitting the 80s again.
Oh, that's right. We are in the 80s again, right? Yeah. But I don't think like that 1930s, 1940s classic style has ever really gone out of style, quote unquote. There's always somebody who wears that sort of like retro kind of look, but it's on two sides. It's either the super like casual like Susie the Riveter woman, or like a rebel without a cause, you know, jeans and a t-shirt with like a pack of cigarettes rolled up in your sleeve kind of thing. There's always like people who are still sticking with that kind of feel to them. Yeah. If you know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah, we're definitely in the 80s again. Yeah. The neon's back and the safety pins and the punk and the
big hair.
And the big hair.
Notice some big hair.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. And also some really high waists pants.
Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. That was like one of the first things that tipped me off that the 80s were back.
Yeah. And like it's like the light acid wash jeans, like the mom jeans, you know, with like a crop top, and you're just like, no, this is not a thing that should be coming back. Yeah. I don't want this back. I'm good.
I guess the last time we saw the 80s was the early 90s here in Canada.
Yes. I'm gonna ignore you. We're gonna skip over that.
But you know what else happened in the early 90s?
What?
Batman the Animated Series.
It did.
It's so good.
It's so good.
But yeah, no, just going back to the art style. Mm-hmm. I love the paddy wagons.
Oh yes.
They're so cool because they're narrow but tall, and then like they're very Art Deco, like vans. Yeah. And then like they have like a little hatch that opens up at the top, and then like the back of the van falls down
yes.
to a ramp. Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've got like when you go inside, it's like the little benches there. Yeah. But that's not the part that makes it interesting. It's just like the way the things open.
Yeah. And how it. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, now that you made me think about it, yeah, that is really very cool.
Yeah. No. The paddy wagons, like besides the Batmobile, probably the most iconic vehicle in the show.
I was gonna say the police blimps, but yeah, I understand that. I understand that. Yeah. Because even like the helicopters, the shape of the helicopters and stuff is completely different to like a modern helicopter or anything, or even a helicopter at the time.
It's more like an old school helicopter with like the just like the piping or like not wireframe, but like exoskeleton tail sort of thing. Yes. It's not like what you would think of with a normal helicopter today, where it's like it's all encased.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was just like, I don't think that was helicopters at the time, because no, definitely not.
Probably not, no.
I'm pretty sure in Die Hard there's helicopters that's totally encased.
Oh no, it's totally encased. Yeah, because it's a fighter jet. It's like a
a Cobra.
They actually say what it is in the movie, and I'm very upset with myself. I can't remember what it is because I've seen Apache. I think it's an Apache helicopter. Okay. Yeah, and they're not expecting a gunship, so stay low. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah, it's definitely not one of those. Yeah. But yeah, they just thought of every single level of the aesthetic of that show to such a incredible detail. It's amazing. Yeah. And I know you're trying to talk about the special features on the DVDs.
A little bit.
But that also brings me back to a tidbit that we both found out watching those special features was the fact that one of the things that makes the show visual style so interesting is the fact that the show was actually drawn on black paper.
Yeah.
You know?
It was all done like analog. Like none of it was digital.
It was all hand drawn, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just on black paper. And so like I remember like I think it's the special feature on the first disc.
Yes, it is, yeah.
And it's just like, man, artists really hate it when you do an outside daytime scene.
Because you gotta color a whole sheet.
Everything white.
Yeah.
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 Or not white, but like has to be solid. Like can't have black.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a shadow. And then it's like, okay, yeah, don't fill that in. Or like only like half fill it in.
But I think that's one of the things that made like the visual style of the show work so well and make the shadows so dark and you know, like take over things.
Exactly.
They really drew
I think part of it is that because it's on black paper, they only drew what they needed to draw.
Yes.
And so that probably like maybe simplified things a little bit, but
to
also
a certain
like
level,
as even like with the coloring, the texture of a lot of the stuff is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm no artsman, but I can tell you that this is a beautiful piece.
Yes. I think even if people don't like animation, like I know people who don't like animated shows, and I know people who are, you know, frou-frou artists, and, you know, people who are pure nerds like us. But all of them agree when they see art from this show, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Every level of it is fantastic. Whether they can articulate why it's fantastic or not, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Definitely, this is my Batman.
Yes. I agree.
Like, it was probably my, like, first real introduction to Batman.
The funny thing is that the Tim Burton Batman came out in 1989. It came out before this.
Yeah, see, but I was very young at that point, and so I never watched it.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's, like, I think I've only seen the Tim Burton Batman, like, once or twice.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Sorry, hi, I'm Tim. I don't watch things. I also own a lot of things, but haven't watched them. Case in point, Batman the Animated Series, because I'm very bad at being a thing.
Apparently. I mean, mind you, the ones I actually hadn't watched probably since I bought them.
Yeah.
So, it's been a while.
Yeah, so, I think, so I've had my set for probably 4 years now, and I bought all three at the same time, and went home and immediately started watching the first season. And I think I went through the first 2 discs.
Yeah.
And then other stuff came up and I stopped watching or whatever. Okay. So like I just had not watched basically any of these. Like I got through the first like 8 or 10 episodes maybe. Yeah. You know who's the worst? Past Tim. For not watching more. I hate that guy.
That guy's the worst.
He's the
worst.
Agree.
I absolutely agree. Yeah. Whereas I bought the 2 I bought on the same day. I'm 98% sure of that. Yeah. And I think I would have only bought those 2 because they may have been the only 2 on the shelf.
Yeah.
Okay. And I never got around to filling out the set, which to me is understandable. Because when it comes to especially like DVDs, comic books, novels, whatever, I'm very much a tactile individual. If it's not in front of me, if I'm not looking at a shelf, or, you know, I'm a browser. Like, I want to see things. I want something to tantalize me, kind of thing. And, you know, with the loss of many of our outlets that would sell things like DVDs and CDs and whatnot, I don't get that experience anymore. But if I'd seen them in a store, I probably would have bought them. But because I have to actively go search and I gotta buy this thing, it's not a thing that's gonna happen, unfortunately.
So I actually picked up a copy of Aeon Flux
Yes.
In this fashion.
Oh, really?
I went to Sonic Boom,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, all right. So, again.
I love it when you start telling something and then you remember something. You're like, I gotta give you the whole thing. Yes.
So again, past Tim, I hate you. So I had just been laid off work.
Yeah.
And I was walking around, and I went to Sonic Boom.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sonic Boom, if you're not aware, is a local music store. They have, what's that called when you bring something in to sell and they'll sell it for you and then give you the money later after it sells?
Pawning? Consignment?
No, consignment.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have a consignment thing, or they used to, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you can also trade in stuff that you don't want anymore.
Okay.
And so I was in there just after I got laid off, and I found Clone High, the complete series, unfortunately. And I was like, oh man, I should buy this. But then I was like, oh man, I just lost my job. I probably shouldn't spend money.
That's probably a proper way to think about it. Yes.
Yeah. And so anyways, I walked out of there without Clone High.
Mm-hmm.
I just did some browsing.
Yeah.
I regret that because after I got a job again, I went in and it wasn't there anymore. But Aeon Flux was, and so I bought that.
Oh, no. Clone High is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, rewatching Aeon Flux last year was not a fun experience, and it was short, and I did not enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah.
But I guess what? I get to watch Clone High beginning next year. Woohoo! Actually, one of my biggest regrets ever was I used to live in Brampton, and I worked at a bank, and across the street from this bank was this, I don't know, antique / knickknack store. Okay. You know? That just had random stuff or whatever. It had this big display window. And one day in the display window, I'm going to sound crazy nerdy, but you're not going to be surprised I bring this up. It had a book that had all of the blueprints for the Star Trek ships in it. Right? And
Tracy, this is so on brand for you.
I know. No, but the worst part is I literally walked, I was just like, you don't need it. You have too much stuff already. Don't buy it. And I literally walked by the front of that store for about a month, and it was just there. It was just in the middle. It was just there.
Every day, teasing you.
And every day, literally every day, I would walk by, and I'd walk by this window, and I'd slow down a second, and I'd be like, I should, I own a Klingon dictionary already, you know. Yeah, and one of the early ones, not one of the later ones. So this is the one that has all the diction and stuff and basic phrases and whatever. Cool. And so I'm like, you already own a Klingon dictionary. You've got your figures and stuff. You got some comic books. You got some whatever, and just get it. It's part of. This is what you want. And then finally, I was walking out of work and I'm like, I'm getting it today.
Oh no! I remember where this is going.
It was gone. I didn't even bother walking to the store. I'm like, I probably should have walked in and just checked. It says maybe they were just switching their display or something, but it was gone. And I was I literally was walking, and I was just don't cry, no, no, do not cry over a missing book. That is not a thing that you do. And then literally a week later, the store shut down. Oh, man. And I was just there's no way I can ever find out about this book or whatever. And I was so disappointed in myself.
I'm just so sad.
Yes. And it was one of those books, it was a really nice hardcover book that had the fabric cover with the embossed on it. Yeah, it was gold embossed on the front. Yeah. And it was a navy blue, I want to say. And it was big. It was a big physical book. Oh. And it wasn't even expensive. That was the worst part. I got a price tag on it. It was $20. It wasn't even expensive. But it was one of those things where I'm just you don't need it. You have a whole bunch of stuff. You're an adult now. Adult. And then I was like, this is the whole point about being an adult. You can buy stuff because you have a job, get whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And then when I finally was just like, you can do it, then it was just like, haha, I'm gone. Son of a bitch.
I think the deal killer for me would have been, like, awkward size.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's not going to fit on a bookshelf.
Have you seen some of the books that are behind you? They're massive.
Yep, okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Mind you, right now I have a lot of Star Wars stuff, which would make you think I'm more into Star Wars than Star Trek, but you're wrong.
There's a complete encyclopedia there.
It is. And as you can see, I have refused to open it because if I open it, I will not ever put it down. It's awful.
I mean, I'd imagine it'd be probably a pretty good coffee table book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
If
and
you
like
ever don't want to leave your house.
That's true. I've actually had that for a few years now, and I actually got that at a book sale, and it cost me $10.
Based on the amount of paper that's in it,
Yeah.
probably a good deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
I would think so. I would think so.
That's a good, like, 2.5, 3 inches thick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't think it's one book. I think it's like it's a sleeve that's got like 3 books in it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, yeah, and it goes through. Actually, the funny thing is, I bought it. I won't open it, but I did research on what the content of the book is, and it literally goes through like ships, the planets, characters within the series, how they interact with each other, who appears in what movie, like it's a legit like encyclopedia. You know, like you know, remember back in the day when encyclopedias were books and you had like Encyclopedia Britannica and you can look up a name and cross-reference a page and flip to that page and whatever?
Well, see,
that's what it's like.
The trick there is that you first look it up in the Micropedia, get a brief synopsis, and then it gives you a reference to the Macropedia, which has more information about it.
Yes. That is legitimately true. This is the thing. Yes. This is what Wikipedia is based on, people. It's exactly the same thing. You're welcome.
Speaking of dead technologies.
But yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all. Yeah. That's my sad story.
So I had some of those blueprints probably because I bought some of the toys. Or rather, my parents bought the toys for me. Yeah. And so they came with blueprints. So like I had like Shuttlecraft, and that came with a blueprint. Phaser, Enterprise. And then also my roommate has like a giant poster-sized Enterprise.
Oh, is it the cutout or is it like the blueprint?
I think it's the cutout.
Oh, so it's got like the ship and it shows like the different like decks and it's like a corner cut out of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that poster many places.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's got that, and then my friend used to own a game store, and he had like a couple of the blueprints like mounted and like posted on his walls.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Jelly, I'm fine. It's okay.
Oh no, you've got beautiful art here too.
I do.
Like, actually, I would say these are probably better than like a giant blueprint of the universe.
You think so? I mean, if it was framed and put amongst this, I think you would like it.
I mean, it'd fit in. Because I very much enjoy that caricature of Batman.
Yes, that's actually one of my favorite ones. And when I can't remember what the name of the artist is. I'm really sorry, artist. I'll put a picture up on the website.
Is it signed?
It is. Yeah, but can you like read what it says? Rack. It says R-A-K on the side.
Batman Friends and Foes R-A-K. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And then I'm gonna move back to a mic here. So it's double matted, and the outer mat is white, and the inner mat is black, with a picture of the Joker drawn on the map. Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah. So I bought this at Fan Expo maybe 10 years ago or so. And of course I was in Artist Alley and the artist was doing these. And he drew that for me on the mat when I bought it.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, he was really, really nice. He was really amazing. And I really should take proper notes of people's names because I have a lot of just random artists' art. And this is definitely not all the art that I have. There's literally a pile down there. And, but like some of the artists that I meet are they're just so nice. And they're just so talented. And I'm just like, I don't even care what I buy from you. You just deserve money for doing what you're doing. So, like, I am very happy and willing to just give some money. You know what I mean?
You don't want free art for exposure?
No. Be like, no, give it to me for free. It's good exposure. People who say things like that are horrible people.
Yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a really great piece. I'll put a picture on the website. But it's pretty fantastic. And like even like that one, which is clearly Clark Kent.
Yes.
Not Superman. It's Clark Kent.
He's got the glasses on.
He's got the glasses on. No, but some people are just like, oh, it's Clark Kent and Superman. They're the same thing. I'm like, no. No, they're not.
They're the
right?
same, I guess, same person?
They embody the same...
Host.
No, because it's true. I mean, I think Clark Kent is his disguise, is his superhero, and Superman is, you know, his alter ego. Really.
That was one of the most poignant things from Kill Bill. Mm-hmm. That monologue of that Bill talks when Bill's talking about Superman and Clark Kent and how like Clark Kent is the disguise as opposed to like Batman where it's like Batman's the disguise.
I actually think with Batman, Bruce Wayne is the disguise.
Yeah?
Yes.
I
actually agree. Like,
I kind of see your argument there. It makes sense. So I guess I'll amend it to be Spider-Man is the disguise.
Yes.
And Peter Parker is the person.
Yes. Okay. I would agree with that.
Whereas Superman is the person and Clark Kent is the disguise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. But yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah.
And that artist is really good.
I very much enjoy that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a thing that I do.
Yeah. We are
very far off
topic.
Well, no, actually, we're not that far off topic because I'm going to take this back to Star Trek.
Oh.
Because there are a few Star Trek people that do voices in the show. Well, only 2.
So, actually, I didn't even pick up on this until I got here today, and you had the episode going.
Yeah. So, Dr. Thompson is the same person who plays Dr. Polanski on Next Generation, who is also in the original series, as I should have taken a note of that, but Polanski was all that I needed, because nobody cares about Dr. Polanski. Nobody likes Polanski.
It's all about the Beverly Crushers.
Exactly. Polanski, Diana Muldaur. Yes.
Okay.
And who did she play in the original series? She was Dr. Anne Mulhall in the original series as well.
Was she
was in a couple episodes.
Or just a couple episodes?
She was in a couple episodes. Oh. And I actually think she was in one of the movies, now that I think about it. Because they, like, progressed her level.
Oh, she got, like, promoted to, like,
something
Attorney General or something?
Attorney General?
Sorry,
what?
I was thinking, like, Admiral, I guess, because technically it's the Navy. But then I was also trying to go for, like, a medical title. And, yeah, I don't know where, that just went way off the rails. I'm sorry.
Let's see, hold on. So she's in Star Trek Next Generation, and then she wasn't in the movies. Okay. Well, at least it doesn't list her as being in the movies.
Okay, so maybe
she was in the movies.
Just a couple episodes then, I guess.
Yeah, just a couple episodes, I suppose. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, like, her voice was so familiar to me, and I watched, like, several episodes with her in it, but it wasn't until the episode that you were watching when I got here.
Yeah, because you were like, I know that voice.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, who's that? And I'm like, and then it's like, as you were saying it, I was like, it's the Doctor from Star Trek.
It's Dr. Polanski.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as the first episode that she's in, which is Appointment at Crime Alley.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard her voice, I was just like, what? Oh my god. So I was like, oh, that's amazing. The other voice I picked up, it actually took me 2 episodes to pick up on this voice. So he was in the first episode of the show which is
on
Leather Wings.
Okay.
But then the character comes back later.
It's like Terror in the Skies?
Terror in the Skies.
Yeah.
And so that's the Man-Bat episodes.
Yeah.
It's the...
Is it the old Doctor or the young Doctor?
It's the old Doctor.
Okay.
Whose voice do you think it is?
Is it Robert Picardo?
No, it is not.
Who is it?
It's Odo from DS9. Because so in the first episode, he doesn't have very many lines, right? He only has like 3 lines or something. It's
a common brown bat, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and that's it. So
yeah.
like you don't get like the full variance of his voice.
Yeah.
But in the second episode, Terror in the Skies, he has like a full monologue. Like he talks over something, whatever.
Yeah.
And like it took me a second, but I'm like, I know that voice.
Yeah.
What that voice is super familiar. Oh my god. I need to look this up. And then I look it up, I'm like, oh no! Oh my god! Yeah, it's Renee Auberjones. I've never had to say his name before in my life, besides Odo. But yeah, Odo is in it. I'm not saying that I didn't miss any other voices from Star Trek, because I wouldn't be surprised if there's more in there.
Yeah.
Also, I have missed a whole volume of episodes, so... But yeah, those are the 2 I just automatically picked out.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't believe that I missed those.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, it took me long enough. Let's talk about Beware the Grey Ghost.
Okay, so I don't understand why that didn't come up on our list earlier of like, these episodes.
I don't know.
I absolutely love that episode. And one of the reasons for it too is because like they show like young Bruce Wayne in front of the TV watching, Grey Ghost.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm like, this is so good. I want to do this. This is amazing, So, but yes, go ahead. Yes, I'll let you talk.
Well, I mean, feel free to jump in at any time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Beware the Grey Ghost was great because it's like, like you said, it's Bruce Wayne watching like old-timey superhero TV series
called The Grey Ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's watching this like TV serial as a kid, and then these bombings start happening in Gotham, where they're following the MO of the Mad Bomber from the Grey Ghost series.
Yeah, which is an episode of the show. Yeah.
And it's the episode that Bruce is watching, but he falls asleep and he never sees the end of it, so he doesn't know how it ends. Mm-hmm. All he's just like, Bruce Wayne's just haunted that like these bombings are happening, and he's like, he knows it's related to the Grey Ghost, and so he goes and he finds the actor that played the Grey Ghost back in the day, and like he's an old guy and is like he's having trouble finding work, so he's selling his merchandise that he's like saved up, and like it's like his collection of Grey Ghost stuff, and just to like pay the rent. And meanwhile, these bombings are still happening. And
like the police can't figure out how the bombings are happening either, right?
Yeah. And so they just give it, so like Commissioner Gordon shows Batman the scrap of paper is like, if I don't get $1 million by such and such date, Gotham Bank is next.
Yes.
Which like follows from the TV show. Mm-hmm. And yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, okay. So, here's the point that I was going to make. I wound up summarizing the first half of the episode. Is that the Grey Ghost is voiced by Adam West.
Which is amazing!
Yeah.
Which is awesome, yes.
It took me a while to figure out. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know who the announcer was for the TV show. It might have been... Robin, whoever played Robin.
You think so?
I feel as though there's a chance of it.
There is a chance of it. I will say that, yes.
But, like, I couldn't tell you, like, for certain. But the Grey Ghost is 100% also Batman. Just 60s Batman. Yeah. That episode was very good. I highly enjoyed it.
The Grey Ghost narrator was Joe Leely. He was the voice in Transformers and in Freakazoid. He was the announcer on Freakazoid. That's pretty cool.
Well, I guess he's just got that epic movie voice or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I love... Okay. Hold on. I do love that episode, but the villain in the episode has the lamest motive, which frustrated me. Which really frustrated me. But up until that last, 5 minutes when you find out what his motive is, I loved the episode.
Yeah.
Because
it's like Batman teaming up with his hero from his youth.
Yeah, and they I love the fact that they show the parallel between what Batman does and how he picked it up from the Grey Ghost, you know? So they'll show like a 2-second clip from the show, the Grey Ghost jumping off the side of a building, going to save the day. And then Batman does exactly the same thing afterwards. Yeah. It's stuff like that I was just like, oh my god, he emulates his heroes just like we do. This is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's just, it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
it's a fun romp.
It is, yes.
With lots of explosions.
Mm-hmm. But it's also one of those things where it's like, so one of the old sayings is, never meet your heroes, right? Because they never live up to your expectations.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And so he meets his quote-unquote hero. And of course
he doesn't live up to his expectations.
Because he's an old man and he's just like, I'm old.
I'm just an actor.
I'm not the Grey Ghost.
Yeah.
Which is true, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
But when all you've seen of a person is them being this amazing, larger than life individual, and then you meet them and they're not larger than life, it's such a disappointment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what I find great about it is the fact that this guy, who's just an old man, who's an actor, is just like, I can't disappoint my fan, and I am more than just an actor. I can be an actual hero too.
He steps up.
And he steps up. He doesn't do a lot because, he doesn't have the training. He is an old, he's 80 years old or something. Yeah. He's an old man and stuff, but he's willing to help. And that is all Batman really needed to be like, you are a hero. Yeah.
He's a little, apprehensive at first. He's I'm just an actor. How can I, I can't do this stuff. It's a movie. Or it's a TV show. It's a TV show. I was on the guide wire.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like, I don't understand what you expect me to do right now. That's just dumb.
Yeah.
And, and all Batman's just like, well, you don't have to do all of these things to be a hero. You just have to be a decent person and willing to try, just willing to do a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was enough for this old man to be like, you know what, you're right. You don't have to be the world. You can be the world to one person and that's enough. Mm-hmm. Right? And that's literally what he did. And it was heartbreaking and it filled your heart with love and you were just like, oh, it's it just made you feel good by the end of the episode. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Minus the villain's MO.
Yeah. I mean, the villain's MO was I'm blowing up stuff and getting money because I like toys. I want to buy more toys. And I'm just like, seriously?
Yeah. It's pretty weak. It's pretty weak.
So weak. Look what all toys can do. I can make a bomb with toys. And I'm just like...
Oh, yeah. So the way that the bombs were being placed was with RC cars.
Spoiler. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Then here. Okay, just
rewind.
Just cut it up and we'll split it out and just be like spoiler. And then do the bombs for RC cars.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Also, those were big bombs for little RC cars.
Yeah, but I think it was C4 or something.
I mean, probably.
I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. It was just as long as you get a structural pillar, you're gonna take a building down. Definitely. It's fine.
Also, the amount of explosions in this show.
It's incredible.
So I'm just gonna go on a little rant of things that I've noticed through watching it. It's not. Wow, I wouldn't call it a rant. but just like little things I've noticed. Number one, lots of explosions. So many explosions.
Can I just say the explosions are pretty?
They are incredibly well animated.
Yes. Like, it's something to do with, like, how they layered the colors and, like, the fire and stuff.
The smoke and the debris and just, the way the fire, like, flames out and stuff. And
then it bellows.
And, it's very well done.
Yeah.
There isn't... the explosions are very well done.
Okay.
There isn't a lot of, like, mechanical animation like you would see in, like, anime and stuff. So, like,
Wait, what do you mean like, actual, like, mechanics, like gears and stuff, or, like...
Yeah, that sort of thing. So, like, I just finished watching Evangelion.
Okay.
For the first time.
Okay.
And there's, like, a couple scenes where there's just, like, you're looking down a hallway, and then you see a bunch of, like, doors, like, slam shut, but they're mechanical doors, so you see, like, it's like a diagonal 2-panel door slide shut one way, and then the other diagonal closed the other way.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
so it's like that sort of thing, and then like pieces of metal like meshing together and that sort of thing. So like there isn't a lot of that in Batman, but there is a lot of like smoke and fire and like gas and that sort of thing.
But I think that has to do with a lot of the...
There's so much gas too.
Yeah, a lot of people get, like, poisoned.
Yeah, poisoned. Or, like, Batman throws, like, a smoke grenade in.
Yeah.
The Joker.
Somebody gets, like, smoked with something, especially when, like, you have the, like, Scarecrow and stuff. Like,
Scarecrow,
you know, he's powders, like, he's throwing things in people's faces.
Exactly, yeah. Like, Harley Quinn sprays some perfume in your face.
Yeah.
Then you get, like, a Merlin fish in your wall, and it releases a bunch of gas, and everybody's coughing.
Yeah, and then he turns into, like, a crazy Joker hysterically.
Like, he's just having a good time. He's having a laugh. So that's, actually all of those things. Just, like, explosions, gas, like, all of that. Not, like, there's a reasonable amount of gunfire.
Yes.
It's actually lower than what I was expecting.
Really?
A little bit.
There's, like, in every single episode, there's a decent amount of gunfire.
There is a lot, but it's actually, nobody ever gets, like, shot, really.
So one of the things...
That's kind of like a thing about, like, noir, though.
But one of the things I thoroughly enjoy about the show, which obviously means they were paying attention to the fact that most of their audience will be children, is that they make sure to show people don't die.
Yes.
Except for very specific, like, specific people. So, like, Bruce's parents are actually dead, but they don't die on the show.
No,
They've
you
died
don't
before.
see them die. You just see that they have died.
Yes. But people on the show don't die.
No, they don't. There's an episode, I forget who it is. I think it's the Scarecrow has a blimp.
Does he have... Look, there's a couple episodes.
Okay, I think it's the Scarecrow, and they're up in a blimp, and Batman, like, swings in, and then he, like, knocks one of the henchmen out of the blimp, and then he, like, falls to his death. And then like the screen cuts, and he, like, bounces off, like, one of those little,
Oh, yes! I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like an awning or something. He bounces off of it, and he lives. It's an awning
from a hotel, and he, like, bounces off of it.
Yes.
And then, like, he kicks another guy out, and he lands in a tree on top of a building. And it's just like, exactly what you're saying is, like,
and they
don't show people dying.
Yeah. Or even if, like, but it's not just that they don't show people dying, they show that people are alive as well. Yeah. So even if Batman or, like, a person falls out of a scene, or, like you said, it falls off of a building or something, they show that person doesn't die falling off the building. They just fell off, but they're okay.
Yeah, they're, like, maybe they're in the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when there are henchmen and bad guys that are in actually dangerous and perilous situations, they show that Batman's like, you're a bad guy, but you don't deserve to die. And they show Batman going back, getting them, and taking them out of that perilous situation.
And that's also very much in Batman's MO, is that he doesn't want people to die, he wants to see justice served. Exactly.
Yeah. And I found the fact that, like, of course it's miraculous that nobody dies.
Yeah.
Great, which is great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love the ingenuity of this show to take the time. Like, they technically didn't have to take the time to show these people lived, but they took the time to do so.
I think it was partly the network wanted them to make sure of that, because in Heart of Steel, which is a pretty good episode, I think
both of them are amazing.
Yeah.
I actually really... I pseudo remember it. Like when the first episode ended, it's like a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
And the first part started, I was just like, I don't remember this at all. But there was this scene where like the girl robot gets into the car and says, "Take me home." And it was like click. Okay. And I was like, this is like the iconic scene that I remember from that episode.
Yeah.
And then the other episode I remember is, of course, at the end of the second one where, like, the, Hardak. Which also reminded me of She-Ra, blew up. Bad guy in She-Ra is Hardak.
Oh, no way.
Hardak. Except it's a K, not a C.
It's an O also, instead of an A.
Oh, instead of A, okay. But he's Hordak,
yeah,
not Hardak.
Hordak, not Hardak.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But as soon as I heard it, it just triggered that memory.
Triggered everything, yeah.
But then, so Hardak blows up at the end, and it was like, I remember that specific scene.
Yeah.
But watching those 2 episodes, I was just like, this is like Terminator, I Am Robot, and like every like steampunk, like cyberpunk movie all put together in these 2 episodes perfectly.
And it's all about like AI too.
Yes.
Because it's like, hello, I'm 6. I don't know anything about this. But also like, that computer's bad, I think.
Yeah. You're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Done. But like with any of those like AI gone bad movies or TV shows, it's the AI was given an objective, and because it doesn't have emotions, it was just like, this is the logical solution to this. Humans are flawed, get rid of humans.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's what it was trying to do.
Yeah.
But of course we're just like, that's a bad thing, but it's just like, I don't have emotions, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just another variable, move that variable aside, and everything is fine.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
It's I'm gonna, that's another, those are 2 episodes I can gush over, because I fucking love them.
I forgot my point.
Sorry, I don't.
That's fine.
I don't even know.
That's fine. We got to gush over another episode. So good.
I was actually very like, because I liked it so, I was really happy I didn't really remember the episodes, because it was like you're remembering it, like you're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah. And it's like you remember something, and then it's like a little different, or like it's like, oh, I confused 2 episodes, or something like that.
Yeah. And so what I liked about it is the fact that, sometimes like you're watching things from your childhood and stuff, and you're just like, do I like this because it's good, or do I like it because of nostalgia?
Yeah.
And then I was watching it, and I'm like, besides 2 scenes that are like 3 seconds long, I remembered nothing about those 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, and I am riveted. I am just like, what the shit is going on? Who's that chick? What's up with that dude? What the hell is going on? And it's just like, they made this beautiful progression between this suitcase with arms and legs and an eye to fully functional AI robots and this other thing that's controlling them. And then how Batman put point A to point B. He went on a date with a robot and didn't know. And, the whole thing comes together, and you're just like, what? And I'm just like, it's not nostalgia. It's just well written and well executed. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I just like, there's literally nothing I can say about it, because like, I think if you get a person who's never watched Batman in their life, I'm not talking about just the animated series, I'm like Batman, right? And all they know about Batman is that Batman is a superhero, and they showed them these 2 episodes of the show. they would be like, this is great.
Yes.
This is how you tell a story.
And
this is how animation works. This is how character progression works. This is how you have character development. Like, it just works really, really well.
Yeah.
You know?
And if they don't like it, you unfriend them on Facebook, block them on Twitter, and never speak to them again.
I agree. It's thoroughly. Like, I don't need that negativity in my life.
Exactly.
Like, I don't have time for that, as I say random meme things. It's, no, go away. Like, I don't even understand you at this point.
Yeah.
Like, this is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's all it is. It's just beautiful.
I can understand, like, not wanting to watch it because, like, cartoons aren't your thing.
Yep.
But, like, if you, like, watch a couple episodes, like, especially, like, some of the, like, I'm going to say key episodes that we've been gushing over this evening, and you, like, don't like them, or, like, think they're bad, and I'm like, I'm not talking about, like, just one episode. It's like, Heart of Steel might not be for everybody.
Yes, I agree.
Or, like, really any of the other ones might not be for everybody. But if you think, like, on average, these are just not good, I don't want you in my life.
But I think the thing is, too, is that people have a stigma against, like, things that are, like, superhero or they're sci-fi or whatever. But if, like, you can take the structure of some of these episodes, and Batman's not a superhero. He's just a guy in a weird situation, right? And so, for example, Appointment in Crime Alley. Love that episode. Thoroughly heartbreaking. Absolutely beautiful. And it's the first time you meet Dr. Tompkins, and you realize his appointment in Crime Alley is to put flowers on where his parents died in Crime Alley.
I didn't even clue into that.
Okay. You didn't reach that episode?
No, I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's pretty early on. But, like, I didn't clue in that was the appointment.
That was the appointment, yeah. At the end of the episode... Yeah. So, but the thing is like, if he wasn't Batman, right? If he was just, he wasn't even rich. He was just some dude who worked somewhere who was an orphan, right? And he's just trying to meet this woman who was maybe his social worker as a kid. Yeah. Right? And they had a connection, and they're like, we have a ritual every year where we go visit where my parents died. Like, maybe they're going to a graveyard. Who knows? To just see his parents' graves. Fine, right? And he's late for that appointment. She goes looking for him, and then something, like, she gets mugged. Something happens to her, and he has to beat up the muggers. Yeah. Right? But then they finally, at the end of it, she's safe, he's safe, and they go to the graveyard, and they put down flowers and be like, I miss you, Mom and Dad. That's an episode, or that's a movie, whatever. You know?
The thing, so now that you bring that up, it's triggering because I just remembered they do that again. There's a second episode where they go and lay flowers on the place where Bruce's parents died.
I actually just watched that episode last night.
Yeah, I watched it last night also.
And it's I Am the Night.
I Am the Night.
Yeah,
it's the one where he questions whether, because he's going to lay flowers on where his parents died, and so he's late for a police bust. Yes. That he said he would go on, and so Jim Gordon gets shot, and he's in the hospital.
Yes. But the thing is that episode begins with him being like, why, like, so it's the anniversary of his parents' death, and he's like, why the hell do I keep doing this? Yeah. What is the point? I stop one bad guy, there's another bad guy here. Why am I bothering to try to do all this stuff? He is depressed. Like, it's full on Bruce Wayne / Batman is depressed, and he's just like, there's no point to any of this. And you've got Robin shows up, and you have Alfred, and they're just like,
they're trying to cheer him up.
They're trying to cheer him up, and they're like, you do good things, right? But there's this small story going on about this kid. What's the kid's name? It's voiced by Seth Green, by the way.
What?
That's another voice I picked out. As soon as I heard him, I know that voice. But his name is the Wizard. He's a kid who asked for change.
Yeah.
His name is the Wizard. And so there's a thin line in there, and he's like an orphan kid or whatever.
Yeah.
And
so
thugs try to beat him up.
A corner.
Yeah, and thugs try to beat him up because he needs to pay them to work that corner.
$50 to work that corner.
And
whatever,
Batman beats them up and stops them and puts him in a home with Tompkins, right?
It's like a mission or whatever.
It's a mission or whatever. But then he's just grumpy. And because of that, he's late for this bus. And that's right. Commissioner Gordon gets shot and ends up in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And he's blaming himself, and Bullock is blaming him. But Gordon's daughter, Barbara, isn't blaming him at all for any of it. He's just like, no, this is, you did what you could.
It could have literally happened on any other bust or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. But he's beating himself up about it.
Why is the police commissioner going out to, random busts?
What's
up with that?
Because he's a hands-on guy. That's one of the reasons why people like Gordon so much. Is that he's the commissioner, but he doesn't sit behind a desk and delegate tasks. He's just like, no, you're in danger, I'm in danger. We're gonna do this. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the episode, Commissioner Gordon actually wakes up after his surgery and stuff, and he's like, why are you blaming yourself? That doesn't make any sense. I'm a cop. Yeah. I can get shot at any point in time. This isn't you. Mm-hmm. But then Batman goes back out, meets the wizard or whatever this kid's name is, and he's getting on a bus to go somewhere. He's like, what are you doing? You should be at the mission. He's like, no. You know what? Thank you for helping me because I finally made a decision. I'm if I don't get out of here.
I've been in that situation umpteen number of times.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting out of here. I'm actually I'm going home.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna try.
So it may be a little cynical of me, but so when you first meet the wizard, he's working the corner and he's like, oh, hey guys, sorry, I'm just and he's well dressed and well groomed. And so he's like a couple of rich guys and he's like, there's my mark. Yeah. And he's like, hey guys, sorry, I'm just I'm trying to get some bus fare to get back home. You got any change or whatever? And it's like, oh yeah, here you go. It works every time.
Yeah.
So I was actually being very cynical when he runs into Batman again at the end, and he's like, oh, Batman, I've been in that situation a bunch of times, and I'm gonna go home and straighten up my act or whatever. And he's like, oh, that makes me feel good. And then he goes and gets on a bus. I was actually expecting him to just walk away and be like, it works every time.
The worst part is so was I. I was like, no, he's playing the Batman. But the point of it, even if he was, that wasn't the point. The point is that renewed, Batman's spirit to be like, you know what, I don't need to change the world. If I can help one person do something right, I'm okay with that, right? And that's the thing that made the episode great and also it gave me a realization. If you watch a lot of the episodes, unlike a lot of superhero shows and stuff where, or movies and everything, especially now with Avengers Endgame and stuff, it's they gotta save the universe, It's not even they're saving the Earth or the solar system. They're saving the universe.
Yeah.
It's these huge, huge things. And with most of Batman, it's these small things. It's the helping the little guy and just within your city and, going through these different things. It's just no, I just need to save one person here, there, and everywhere to make things a little bit better.
He's your friendly neighborhood Batman.
He is! And that's legitimate. That is literally what it is.
Yeah.
And I was kind of really okay with that. I liked the fact that not everything was so grand and so epic. Just, if you help the guy sitting next to you, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, like, that means the world to somebody.
But sometimes helping the guy next to you on the train puts you in a world of hurt about 5 years later.
Yes. But that was giving, like, lazy advice.
Yeah.
But also...
that super was lazy advice.
It was lazy advice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, really, did the Clock King need to go through all of that trouble just because he's not good at relaxing for 5 minutes? It's just weird.
Well, I mean, I guess it gave him something to do for those 5 years.
It's true. He made his vendetta happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, revenge.
Revenge. It's all about revenge.
All over the place.
It's all about revenge. Imagine being killed by a clock. That would kind of suck.
Yeah.
That also reminded me, so that episode is called The Clock King. And I had mentioned to you when I saw you last, that I'm like, I'm really looking forward to this episode.
Yeah.
And then I watched it. It's not that I didn't like it, but it's not the episode I was expecting to watch. Mm-hmm. And so the Clock King episode that I remember was...
Sorry, can I just jump in real quick?
Yeah.
My favorite part of that episode was when he's standing on the rooftop with Batman, and he's like, now there's something you should know, Batman. The 4:15 train is always 5 minutes early. And then he jumps off the building, lands on the train, and rides away.
Yeah. But the thing that annoys me about it, if it's a 9:15 train and it's always early, that doesn't make much sense, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But how is it always early?
And it's like, that's a big gamble if you're like off by like
even like a couple of seconds.
Yeah, you're smashed.
Yeah. And also 5 minutes is a long time to be early.
It is.
It's a very long time to be early.
I mean, I guess maybe if the train stations are really far apart, but like in a downtown core like Gotham City.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because I understand that kind of thing if it was like the last train of the night, it's like 2 a.m. or whatever. But if it's rush hour, they're gonna be late, not early, if anything, right?
Stupid people.
But also, we don't know what location that train's at. Like, is it coming from the depot, or is it coming from another station?
True.
That is also a thing.
Yeah. Also, the Art Deco design on the trains.
Oh, beautiful.
So good.
But that's just like the airplanes too. Like it's old timey airplanes, and like even the interiors and stuff. They got like the big lounge chairs in it. And love it. Anyway, but what I was saying was, so
Clock King Part 2.
So there's
not Part 2, but like a second episode.
I actually don't know what the name of the second Clock King episode is because I never made it to it.
Okay, and I didn't make it to it either. I've only seen the Clock King.
The Clock King, right?
Yeah.
And so there's an episode that has the Clock King where he has a device where he can actually like stop time. And he moves through the city, stopping time and, you know, robbing banks and whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And I actually don't remember it completely, but I just remember specific scenes, I guess, like you would with some of the episodes and stuff. And I'm just like, I need to get to that episode. But I think that, like, as a memory, I remember that being one of my favorite episodes of the show. Overall.
Okay.
And I am very surprised after watching 50-something episodes of the show that I haven't made it to that as yet. It is just shocking to me.
Yeah.
FYI.
So, please feel free to continue to borrow mine until, you finish watching them.
But yes, if I can keep those to watch them, would make me very, very happy.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I would love to.
The next month and a half is going to be Batman filled, and I'm okay with that. I am very, very okay with that.
What about your next week? What's your next? What's the next episode?
So the next episode is actually a box set. Okay. That has the first 2 Tim Burton Batman movies, and it has the 2 Joel Schumacher movies. So it's Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Okay. So it's 2 good ones and 2 bad ones.
What's the missing one? Batman Beyond?
No, Batman Beyond is a TV show. That was also a TV show. No, that's it. It's those 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the one with Jim Carrey as the Joker?
Batman Forever.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that one.
Okay. I'm just gonna...
I mean, I was definitely...
Oh my god, that triggered something. Sorry. Yes.
I was definitely at the right age when that movie came out.
So.
Yeah.
That triggered something.
I definitely have the McDonald's toy with the Batmobile that separates. That's a thing that I own. Or have owned at some point in time. I might have thrown it out at this point.
So, okay, so that triggered something. Thank you for asking me. So there's an episode in Volume 2, Episode 9, which is called The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne. Okay.
Okay, so not the Joker, not the Riddler, but...
No, it's Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Which makes me confused.
Odd name.
Yes. It's Hugo Strange, which should not be confused with Doctor Strange in the Marvel Universe. It's a very different doctor. There's been different iterations of him where he's either just a mad scientist. Well, actually, he's technically always a mad scientist. It just depends where he is in the city. He's either working for a company, working for Arkham Asylum, or just working for himself. Within the show, he is a mad scientist working for himself.
Yeah.
And he creates this spa for high-stress people to go to, and he puts them in this machine. And what they don't know is that they think this machine is supposed to decrease their stress, but what it actually does is it steals what they're thinking and records it. Yeah. It visualizes what they're thinking. It records the memories, yeah. And so then he uses those memories to blackmail them. Right?
Yeah. So we first see, like, a judge.
Yes.
In a clandestine meeting on a bridge.
Yes.
Which is a very strange place for a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the judge is, like, paying off some lackeys, and we don't know why. And then it's not until later that Bruce Wayne finds her tape.
Mm-hmm.
And finds out what sort of dirt Doctor Strange has on her.
Yeah, so he goes to the spa that she had just come back from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did some digging to, like, find out, like, what was going... Oh, It was the license plate of the car that they used to get away that was registered to the spa.
Oh, that's what... Okay, yes, okay.
So, yeah, so then he, like, sets up an appointment to, like, go to the spa and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Doctor Strange records Bruce's thoughts, where... You know, it's like, oh, you don't like talking about your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, maybe it's because of some sort of past trauma. Perhaps your parents were murdered in an alley.
Yeah.
And it's like, thanks, Doc. Everybody already knew that one.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, oh, but what are your feelings? And it's just like, oh, I want revenge. Revenge for my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Again, common theme tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so anyways, then you see, like, you know, the Batman symbol and, like, a Batman fist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, I've figured out who Batman is.
Yeah.
Also, several people have figured out who Batman is. Hugo Strange decides to hold an auction for this video cassette.
Yes. So he invites all of the, or many of the villains of Gotham City to come by and bid on it.
Yeah.
So what is it? The Penguin, Joker, and Two-Face show up?
Yeah, I think it's just the three of them. I don't think... I think they were the main ones that had been introduced. Killer Croc was later, at least in my mind. In my viewing order. Also, Killer Croc probably doesn't really have money.
No, he doesn't.
He's more of a goon.
But yeah, the three main villains who would have some sort of cash show up. Yes. To buy this cassette of identifying who Batman really is.
Yeah. And so Batman, being the crafty fellow that he is, obviously thwarts this scheme and makes Hugo Strange look like a fool after taking the combined money of all three of the villains.
For the tape. Yeah.
For the tape. And then attempts to take the money and run away after the villains realize that they have been duped. Mm-hmm. After actually not having been duped.
Mm-hmm.
But So Bruce Wayne, Batman, as he is when he re-records this footage, he imagines a scene where Hugo Strange is like, haha, and then I'll take all the money from the Joker and Two-Face.
It's pretty great.
It was pretty great.
It's pretty great.
It was pretty great.
So the reason why I bring that up after we talk about Batman Forever is because that's pretty much the plot of Batman Forever.
Was it?
Yeah, because what it is the Riddler in it, he's not a game designer. Remember, he creates a machine.
It was the TV to suck all the knowledge out of people.
Yeah, but remember there's
Tommy Lee Jones take turns with the suction cup.
Yeah. And there's a part where he has a party on like this like island or whatever, and like rich people are going into it, and it records their thoughts or their memories, whatever the suction cup is. And they find out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And they are, like, trying to sell that information to people, and then Batman stops them.
I do not remember that at all.
That's part of it. But then also, they reverse something of the machine to take the thoughts of everybody in the city and some other shit.
Well, so I thought that they were, like... So they have, like, little set-top boxes that you put on your TV.
Yes.
And then, while you were watching it, it would, like, suck your brainwaves out or whatever.
It sucks your thoughts out.
Or I thought it was your knowledge or something. So then they were basically, like, getting smarter by like, putting the suction cup on their forehead.
Yeah, but it also...
That's my memory.
But they also they got the knowledge of it. But the thing is that... So that's closer to the end where it's, like, the big scheme is the city.
Yeah.
Right? But the original scheme was he has this thing... People go into this little box and they think they're like it's like a show or something. I forget what it is. I'll be watching it soon. I'll talk about it. But what it is actually taking information out of these rich people's heads, and they figure out because Bruce Wayne goes into it.
Yeah,
they're just like Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
it's a whole thing.
Okay, yeah. I completely forgot about that.
So I was just like, as soon as I saw it, I was just like. Isn't that Batman Forever? I think that's Batman Forever. That's Batman Forever. Yeah. That's all I was really getting at.
Okay.
Yeah. John, you're welcome. What can I say?
I'll still probably rewatch it. Gotta get those Tommy Lee Jim Carrey antics going.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw a note here. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I know we were talking about Heart of Steel before and kind of gushing over it and stuff, and how it's about like AI and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things about it is that there's the doctor, the scientist in it creates automaton robots to go out there and whatever.
I think that's actually Hardak that makes them.
No, but he originally makes the first ones.
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's not like specifically shown that he makes the first ones.
Oh, that's true.
But I think it's technically like part of his backstory that he was like feeling alone after like the death of his daughter, wife, or something like that.
Because there was an accident.
Then he makes the first one, but it's never like explicitly shown.
That's true.
Yeah.
So one thing I found interesting about it, so you know how there's like the female one that like walks around and sort of like takes care of him and all that kind of stuff, and the doctor's voice sounded kind of familiar,
southern and very familiar.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to place it. I haven't looked it up.
So I'm going to tell you who it is.
Please tell me who it is.
And I found it extremely poignant that this is the person that they used.
Yeah, okay, so it's not Mark Hamill.
No.
Okay, that was my guess.
Oh, you thought it was Mark Hamill doing multiple voices?
Yeah.
Oh no. The person's name is William Sanderson. Do you know who William Sanderson is?
I don't think I do. Who is William Sanderson?
So there's a movie called Blade Runner about replicants in the future.
Tell me more.
Okay. And there is a character in the movie.
Yes! I know exactly who it is now. Yep, that's him. Yeah. That is 100% him. And they look the same.
They look the same. Yeah.
Oh.
So I found it extremely poignant that was the voice they used for the doctor, because he's he's the tinkerer in Blade Runner, right?
Yeah.
And so the replicants go to him to see if he can fix them and prolong their life and all that kind of stuff. And then, but
Spoilers,
they find out
we're watching this in a few months.
There you go. And then in a few, it's like 2 months from now. Yeah.
I have no idea what your schedule is like. I just made a ballpark figure.
And so like he's in it, and he's just this kind of sad man who wants company.
Yeah, he lives alone and he makes little toys
pretty much, and he's a fixer of things and all that kind of stuff. And this one he is a doctor he's a scientist who's into AI and robotics and all that kind of stuff, but he's a sad man because his family has died because of this horrible accident, right? And so he creates things to keep him company, pretty much.
Okay.
And, with AI, things go wrong. And I was just like, that is so poignant. And I really think, because, like, if you go through the episodes and some of the voices that they bring in there, you're like, you must have actively searched out this person to be the voice of this person.
100%.
Because even like the Grey Ghost episode, I'm like, you didn't have to pick Adam West, but you had to have picked Adam West for a reason.
Yes.
It's things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you are blowing my mind at this point. Because even like Clayface is Ron Perlman. And I was just like, why?
I did not pick that up.
Oh, you didn't? For the first episode, I picked that one up.
You mentioned it earlier, and I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Ron Perlman, yeah. But the thing is, before that, I think his biggest thing was still, because he was in Beauty and the Beast, right? The TV show. Oh, you don't know about the TV show. So there was a TV show called Beauty and the Beast that actually had Linda Hamilton as the quote-unquote beauty.
Okay.
And Ron Perlman was the Beast. And he kind of had this like weird cat face, Fabio hair thing going on. It was kind of weird.
I feel as though I might have seen clips or GIFs of this.
Yeah, it's one of those things that people, like, it was on TV for much too long and people watched it, but people don't like to acknowledge that they watched it because it was just so bad and so kind of ridiculous.
Okay.
But that's where Linda Hamilton and Ron Perlman really got their starts as, like, quote-unquote named actors, you know? Because from that point, that's when she met, like, James Cameron, and she ended up in Terminator, and Ron Perlman got more character roles before he got, like, he didn't really get that many starring roles. He's still a character actor.
Yeah.
But, I mean, his biggest starring role right now is still Hellboy, right? But he's never really been a starring role as himself, like, on screen, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I really liked him in... what's it, Pacific Rim?
Yes, with the gold shoes and stuff. Yeah, he was really good in that. But he always plays like just like this ass. Like he's just an ass.
But he's really good at it.
He's so good at it.
He's really good at it.
He's just got like the attitude and the stature and the whole bit.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy. Yeah. But based on that, like when you have something like Clayface, this guy who is sort of a star, but then not a star, and he's transformative, and he can be whoever you need him to be. Yeah, that's kind of Ron Perlman, if you know what I mean.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I like when I found that, I was just like, that's really good, like foresight, I guess. And then choosing him, or maybe that's just where his career went. I don't know, but right now, based on what I know about Ron Perlman, that's just perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, I mean, granted, we're looking at it.
It's 2020.
Almost 30 years.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. Because it's what, 1992, I think it started?
92 or 93 was when it first started airing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was late 92, I think.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then, here we are in the year of our Lord 2019.
Yes, very much so. I didn't realize that Barbara Gordon was Melissa Gilbert, which is the Laura Ingalls Wilder on Little House on the Prairie. Didn't realize that.
One, what? Two, what?
You've never seen Little House on the Prairie?
No. Well, I mean, I have, but, like, I was young.
So you know, like, the main little girl in it that you follow in Little House on the Prairie?
No.
So there's a main little girl in Little House on the Prairie. That's the voice of Barbara Gordon.
Okay.
You're welcome.
All right.
Blows my mind.
What else has she done?
Stuff.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
You gotta.
It's fine.
But like that, like blew my mind. Like I just didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, and then who was it? Who was next? I think it was Catwoman. I was just like, what? That's Catwoman. Adrienne Barbeau was Catwoman.
What else has she done? Is she like a big voice actor or like an actor?
No, she was really big in like the 70s and like early 80s as like an actor.
Oh.
And then she did a bunch of like she was in apparently Escape from New York, The Fog, and Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School apparently.
Oh.
As I look at IMDb right now.
The one movie of that list that I've seen. Not actually.
No. Okay, good.
No, I actually I'm very lacking. I haven't seen Escape from LA. I guess that was New York that you said, right?
That's the first one, and then Escape from LA was the follow-up.
Oh, I thought LA was the first one.
No, New York was the first one.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So disappointed.
Sorry, like I said, I'm very bad. Just like watching things, playing things, listening to things. Bad at all.
Yeah, no, just terrible.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely terrible.
If Julian were here, he would say, "Classic Tim, doing everything wrong."
That's very true. I agree with that completely. One thing I found out too was that Hardak in Heart of Steel, his voice was also the voice of Johnny Bravo, which blew my mind because even when I found that out, I was listening to Hardak and I'm like, I couldn't like. No. It's so separated that you can't get that thread.
They probably processed his voice for Hardak, just sort of like roboticize it. Mm-hmm. My guess for Hardak actually, I mean, they were obviously going for like a Hal type thing.
Yes.
Right? Which I think they did pretty well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no. Johnny Bravo?
Yeah, not at all.
That robot made absolutely zero references to Pretty Mamas.
That is very true. That is very true. He didn't have a problem with anybody messing up his hair.
Yeah, also that.
There was that. Also, that reminds me, I wanted to make one other comment about Heart of Steel, is how they... I was going to say how they shot the episode, but they don't shoot animated episodes. It's some of like how they storyboarded and some of the angles of stuff that they did was just super cool. So, for example, I'll give you an example of that.
Please,
exampleize me. Barbara Gordon goes looking for her father, and she ends up at the facility. Okay. And she's walking through there, and for some reason, you don't see a shot straight down a hall. You see Barbara Gordon walking down, and it's on an angle, this weird angle.
Okay.
Right?
I know the scene you're talking about.
Yes, and then there's the garbage can behind that comes around and turns into a robot and captures her.
Yeah.
And they walk her into this room where Hardak actually is.
So I don't remember that being on like a very big angle.
It's okay, but that's not. It's not a huge angle, but it's on. It's this weird like. They're showing it from the floor upwards, kind of to the side.
I see. Okay.
So first of all, I thought that was interesting. What are you doing?
Twilight Zone.
First of all, yes.
Yeah.
But second of all, so when they bring her into Hardak, and so she's with like the robot chick, and Hardak is talking to her, or whatever. Yeah. And then they cart her off to the back, right? Mm-hmm. And the robot garbage can turns back into a garbage can. Yeah. But the front of it is still open. And what they do is they show the angle. Not just the eye. What they do is they show it from the view of that robot.
Oh, with the...
Yes.
Yeah. And, sorry, I'm making a sort of visor thing over my eyes where, like, the slot where you would put your garbage into in a garbage pail would be the visor, and it moves up and down. Yes. And then where inside the slot is the little eye, and it's watching, and you see from the point of view of the garbage pail.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So it's this weird framed view
Yeah.
of them
Of
walking
Barbara
away,
being carted
and
away.
then it closes.
Yeah.
Now, there is no need for that scene in any way, shape, or form, right? If you take that scene out of the show, it doesn't change anything. But because it's there, it is fucking art. I am just telling you this right now. Because that's one of the things that continues to blow my mind about this show, right? Is they will just throw in
just 2 seconds.
It's just 2 seconds of this very stylized angle or a very stylized shot for you to understand that Barbara Gordon can't escape because she is being watched. And even if she gets away from that robot, there's the woman robot.
Yeah.
There's robots all over that facility.
Yeah, literally every garbage can.
But it's like 1 second and you get to that like fear and that trapped feeling properly conveyed to the audience by putting that in.
Yeah.
And if you have a kid's show today, they'd be like, no, that's a waste of time. You don't need that shot. And you're just like, if it's not there, it doesn't break anything. But if it's there, like I said,
it makes it.
It makes it. It is art at that point. You know, it's stuff like that that just was like, I literally saw that scene while I was watching the episode and I was just like, that's what I am talking about. That is what makes this show great. You know? Yeah, I'm way too excited about it. I've got this like dumb smile on my face. And
it's the dumb smile that's been on both of our faces since we started recording.
Which is just absolutely ridiculous, but also thoroughly amazing.
Yeah. So while we're on Heart of Steel, I remembered what I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
And that's, so we mentioned how they always went out of their way to make sure that humans never died.
Correct.
It is the opposite for robots.
Oh, it is. Yes.
Because they showed as much violence to robots as they could possibly get away from. This is, so Heart of Steel was one of the special feature episodes where they had like the director's commentary. That's the one I was looking for.
Unfortunately, I didn't listen. I think I've mentioned this before. I do not listen to commentary on episodes.
I think you have,
because it pisses me off.
That's fair.
Because it's just people... despite the fact that it could be interesting, it's just people talking through a show, and I'm just like, I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's fair. But also, I learned many interesting things, especially with the first episode where they're talking over On Leather Wings.
Oh yes. Okay.
So that's the one. I think that's the one where they tell you that like it's like, oh yeah, this was all drawn on black paper.
Okay, yeah.
And
no, I thought that was in the special feature at the end.
Oh, maybe it
on
was.
The first disc. Yeah, because I know that from the special feature. I don't. Maybe they may have also mentioned it in the commentary. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way. But yeah, also the title cards when they show you that, like that was just done. It was just like whoever was doing On Leather Wings just decided to put up like that type of title card, and then that just followed through the whole series.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
Yes, and I love those title cards.
Those title cards, like some of them, like they're a little hit and miss, but like when they're good, they're good.
But I think they also, even if they're hit or miss, like the actual visual of the title card isn't the greatest, because it gives it a chance to switch tone, it like music-wise, visual-wise, all of it.
Yeah.
It sets up the episode.
I'll agree to that. Yeah. Because it's not like Star Trek, where it's just like, you're into the episode and then like, after they're done showing all the on-screen credits during the first bit of the episode, they show the episode title.
Yeah.
It's like, no, this is the episode, directed by, written by, whatever else. Okay, now let's go to it.
But did they actually... No, I don't think they had that stuff at the beginning of the show.
I'm pretty sure they do. Like, right with the title card?
Oh, yes, in the title card they do, yes.
No,
sorry.
So
I'm thinking about, like, the actual opening sequence.
No, the opening
and
sequence
then the
is,
title
like,
card,
purely devoid. No,
yeah.
it's title card, and then you get, like, written by, directed by.
On the actual title card still, yeah.
Well,
sorry, how do I describe it? So the title card has a solid
like a
image.
Yeah.
And so the title comes up, and then the title changes to directed by.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Clarification. I apologize. Yes.
No, that's fair. But yeah, so it wasn't like, it was like whoever drew the beginning of that episode, or like animated the beginning of that episode, made that title card, and then that's how they started doing them from then on. It was just like, yeah, we're gonna make these like noir title cards.
Yeah.
And I just love it.
But it worked so well to the overall feeling of the whole show.
Yeah, it's so good. Like Heart of Ice. It's got the dancer in the glass.
Yeah.
In the
ballerina.
Dome, the ballerina in the dome.
It's
so good. It's so
But
good.
I think one of the reasons why this show works so well, so this was like, I know even with kids shows right now, cold opens are expected pretty much, right? With a lot of kids shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So the show just starts, something random happens, then you have your opening to the show, then you have your like, sometimes it's a title card, sometimes it just goes within the opening, whatever. Yeah. And then the rest of your episode starts. But with Batman, they don't do cold opens. That's not how it works. It's your opening sequence, which is absolutely iconic, you know. Then you have your title card that has the title of the episode, written by, directed by, whatever. And then you have the episode. Yeah. And because you didn't have that cold open, first you get the dun 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 dun. Like, you get the music from the show, and you're just like, I'm ready for Batman. Yeah. Then you get the title card that switches the music and puts you in a space for the episode, and then the episode starts. Yeah. And it makes such, even when I've been watching them,
usually it even like segues into the episode too. The music just
continues. Yeah. 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 And the thing is, even watching the episodes back to back, it's like having a palate cleanser.
Yeah, it's a reset point.
It's a reset point. Yeah, exactly, you know? So an episode ends, you get that intro, you get your title card, and you're like in a completely different mood again. Yeah. Then the episode ends, you get that open, palate cleanse, Batman's gonna be here. Oh my god. Title card, music changes, you're just like, ooh, what's this gonna be? Then the episode starts, you know? Yeah. And it's just structured beautifully. It's just, I don't know. Everything works for the show. It's so good. I am sorry if we've said this way too often in this episode, but I cannot reiterate how good this show is.
It's, if you have not seen it somehow, please do watch it.
And even if you have seen it, rewatch it, show it to your kids.
It holds up.
Whatever. It holds up so well. Yeah.
Like, there are some weak episodes. I'm the first to admit it. Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan of On Leather Wings.
I mean, as a first episode of... Well, okay, no, it's not the first episode of the series if you go by air date.
Production-wise.
But production-wise, it's the first episode. And I can understand why still it's not so great.
But also, like, the change between On Leather Wings and, like, 10 episodes later is not very large. Like, like everything is, like, already basically set out. Batman's acting the same. I think, really, it's just a weaker episode.
Yeah, it's just not the best. Yeah. That's all it is. And the thing is like, they don't it's not like you have to go through like an origin story and then, you have to like feel out Batman and then Batman actually shows up or anything. It's first episode, whether you go by the volumes or you go by air date, Batman's there. Yeah. Batman's just there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of expected. Is like, you kind of know. It's like, yeah, my parents are dead.
Yeah. And they make reference to it, of course, like in several episodes, they make direct reference to it.
Yeah.
And then in other episodes, they kind of just, you know, sort of just touch on the base of it. But there's never like a Batman origin episode. Yeah. Like it's, because it's, at this point, it's unnecessary. People know where Batman is. He's Bruce Wayne. His parents were killed. Because of that, he doles out vigilante justice in Gotham. Boom.
Yeah.
Batman. Done. You know, it's just unnecessary.
That's this criminal's MO.
Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. Is there any other episode you might want to pontificate or gush about or anything like that?
I don't know. Most of them are just really good.
Yes. I agree with you.
I'm wondering, is there like a really good Joker episode to talk about? Because like so far all the Joker episodes, it just kind of been like, oh no, you know who I want to talk about is Rupert Thorne.
Oh yes. Okay. Which one though?
Just
all
in
of them,
general.
Just in general.
Just
okay.
In general, like Rupert Thorne. He's introduced very early on.
I forgot how integral he was to the show. I forgot
he existed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember I remember what he looks like.
Yeah.
And I remember that he's like a mob boss or whatever. Mm. But like, I forgot, like you said, like how much he's in the show.
I've actually forgot I forgot about Daggett.
I totally forgot about Daggett.
I didn't remember Daggett. I remembered Rupert Thorne, but I didn't remember he's in like easily half the episodes of the show.
Yeah.
And it's more about mob bosses and just bad rich people than it is about villains. Like super villains. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because based on what I've seen so far, there's the two-parter of Catwoman, there's Cat Scratch Fever, and like maybe one more episode. So that's like 3 or 4 episodes with Catwoman.
Yes.
That's it. Scarecrow is in 2 to 3 episodes. Also, they change his art style.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, which I kind of...
No.
Yeah, because in the first one, he's just sort of got like burlap over his face, and he's just got like a black jaw. But then in later episodes, he's got like a bulging eye, and he's got teeth in his burlap mouth.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. If you go back and rewatch the first Scarecrow episode, he's very different. And I kind of prefer that version of him because he's more like a jack-o'-lantern cut out of burlap.
Yeah, wait till you get to like the volume 4 and you're just like, what did you do? Like it's I don't like it at all. Anyways, but yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Rupert Thorne. In it way more than I thought.
Yes.
So like supervillains like 3 episodes a piece, basically.
Yeah, because even like, you know, Poison Ivy, the Joker's not in surprisingly he's in surprisingly few episodes that I've watched so far.
Yeah, like I'm figuring 3, and if you ignore the Almost Got Him episode where all the villains are in it, then like
yeah, I think it's really about like the supervillains. It's about 3 or 4 episodes each. Yeah. That's it. And even like one of the last episodes I watched was the first episode with Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul.
Oh.
And that is way far into the show because I was sitting there going like, I thought they were in like half the episodes of the show. No, I'm at first episode at this point in time.
I don't even remember Ra's al Ghul being in the animated series.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a huge thing.
Wait, is he? Am I maybe confusing him with like Lazarus? Is Lazarus?
No, there's the Lazarus pit that Ra's al Ghul looks for. Yes, I didn't even make it to that episode.
Okay.
That's I'm telling you.
Okay, so the Lazarus pit episode is another episode that I remember from being a kid. It was a 2-parter. I didn't realize there was Ra's al Ghul after.
Because they need the Lazarus pit because Ra's al Ghul he's like dying or something, and that's the pit that keeps him like alive or whatever. And Talia is trying to find a way to get him there, and then when they put him in it, he comes back up.
Who's Talia?
Talia's his daughter.
Oh, okay.
But if you read the comic books and stuff, Talia and Batman have a kid named Damian becomes a Robin who's an asshole.
What?
There's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not read any of the comic books.
What is wrong with you?
I'm very bad at everything.
You are. Oh my god.
Really, you thought I was joking.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah. The funny thing is like I've never read the basic Batman comic, like, you know, issue every week, you know, pick up a comic book or whatever. So I've read like Hush and I don't know, like a bunch of like random stuff like Year One and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So I the only like I guess collection that I've read is one of the who's the guy that did 300 and Sin City? Frank Miller. Yeah. So the only one that I've read was one of the Frank Miller ones. So
that would be like Year One and stuff.
It wasn't Year One, but it was something like that.
I can see one right there.
Dark Knight Returns.
It was Dark Knight Returns.
It was Dark Knight Returns. That's the one that I read. That's the one that I read. That's the one with like Bane. No, sorry, it's not Bane.
It's not Bane. No.
But yeah, like somebody's building up like an underground resistance against Batman.
So when you get to if you've ever watched Volume 4, there's an episode that has 3 parts to it, and it's 3 kids talking about what they think Batman is, and one of them is art-wise and content-wise directly related to that. FYI.
Good to know. Good to know.
Sorry, but go ahead. Yes.
No, I don't remember. It's.
I've had a surprisingly ridiculous amount of Batman content in my life. Superman-wise, I bring this up simply because it's DC. I've had more comic book content than film content. Okay. With Superman in my life, and with like Wonder Woman, I've had surprisingly little content in my life with Wonder Woman. Okay. And I have definitely been more of a Marvel person. I don't know if it's just because it's very specific Marvel content, really. Like, especially comic book wise, my first entry into comic books was X-Man. Not to be confused with X-Men. Okay. It was X-Man. And then I got, of course, into Wolverine, and then X-Men, which was different. And then Deadpool. That was my whole thing. But I find with most of the comic books that I read that like influence my general nerdity, it's a bunch of stuff that is just like random stuff that people wouldn't really know that well, you know? Yeah. Like Invincible, for example, is really popular right now, but that was like a completely unknown Image comic back in the day. Or there was a short series it was a 3-issue series called, I don't even remember who put it, I think it was Dark Horse. It was called Vinanarama, but it actually has to do with like Indian deities and like this kid who interacts with them or whatever. And I was like fascinated by it, and I loved it. Like it was just so good. What was one of the other ones? And of course they had the Amalgam series, which is like DC versus Marvel, and they had them fighting. Yeah. And I had like I had to get both of these issues, which was Dark Claw, which is a cross between Wolverine and Batman, and then Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which blew my fucking mind. So I got like those, and I was in like 1 or 2 issues of it. I didn't. Amalgam series was horrible. Like it was so bad. Yeah. But Marvel vs. DC, the 4 issues were great. Okay. And I don't know. I just started like collecting a lot of like random things. I'm like, if I like the story, I will read it. Yeah. Kind of thing. And like one of the things I read right now is like Saga Chew, which is super weird but has a crazy cult following. And if I describe it to people, they look at me like I'm crazy. There's also Sex Criminals, which sounds pervier than it actually is, because it's actually people who have sex who are criminals, not sex criminals, if you know what I mean. It's a weird concept.
I think I get it.
So these 2 people have sex, but when they have sex, they have this thing where they stop time and then they rob banks together. So they're literally people who have sex with each other and then commit crimes.
Okay, that based on your first description, I would not have gotten that at all.
You're welcome.
Like,
I'm really happy I explained it better.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's super weird.
Yeah. And so, like, I mean, it's dirty because it's people having sex in a comic book and then committing crimes, so there's nudity and swearing in it.
Yeah.
But it's not sex criminals as in, like, you know, perverts. So, which is slightly different, but whatever. Yeah. And, like, if I try to explain Chew, so I'll explain Chew to you. Chew is a universe in which eating chicken has been banned because of swine flu, and the FDA has taken over powers in the U.S. But there's also an alien invasion where there's these alien spores have created this thing that, you know, people eat now that's controlling people, but also people have food powers, which is really weird. Like, one of the people who work for the FDA is this guy who, if he eats something, he knows all of its history. So he solves crimes that way. So, for example, he hates really gross crimes where he, like, will, like blood or something. He'd be like, this person killed this person or whatever. Yeah. But there's also people, for example, whose powers is they can, you know, carve chocolate into weaponry, or... there's a guy who's a quote-unquote vampire, but what he does is he just kills people with these powers and can absorb them, like that guy from Heroes. What's that guy's name again?
I'm sorry, I never watched Heroes. It made
Zachary Quinto famous. And like, there's people who, for example, if they... so, like, one of the main characters, she's a food critic who writes articles about food, but her descriptions are so perfect that people... can have, well, they'll eat, like, her, like, it depends on how good or bad her experience is. Oh, okay. So if it's a good experience, it's like people will believe that they've eaten the food and it's a great experience, and they have to go there and do the whatever. Okay, right. But if it's a horrible experience, she's like, it's disgusting, like, you know, it'd be like gross and all that kind of stuff. Or there's one where some guy, you know, builds buildings out of Jello. Like, it's just like random food powers. And there's like a cybernetic chicken named Poyo who kills people. It's fun. But, you know, describing it to people, like, I describe you and you're just like, you're fucking crazy.
Well, see, I know that you're not crazy. It's the writers of this comic that are crazy.
Yes, and as I read the comic book, I'm like...
I'm able to make that distinction.
Yeah, I'm reading this comic, I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever, but I can never convince anybody else I know to read it, because they're just like, that makes no sense. And I'm like, trust me, it makes sense. It's fine. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah. But to each his own, I suppose. What else? But that's my nerd rant. My 35th nerd rant for today. It's fine.
We've both gone on a few.
Yeah.
I feel like you could probably, like, chop those out of the episode and then, like, release them as, like, a secondary episode.
Oh my god. Yeah, nerd rants of the week. Here you go. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Oh, people would listen to that. I think so. Yeah. Totally. What I should do is go through every episode and just cut out the parts I talk about Star Trek and just put Star Trek talk with Tracy on, like, another episode.
Just like, what do they call those? Not like a mashup, but like a supercut.
Oh, yes, a supercut.
Do a Star Trek supercut.
Oh my god. There'd be so much. Like, I think that, like, if I did one, it'd be, like, longer than half the episodes that I've put out for this already so far. I'm horrible with Star Trek. But not even the worst part, I think the best part is I get the excuse to talk about Star Trek because, surprisingly, so many things that I have relate to Star Trek without even knowing it. Yeah. You know, I'm like watching something, I'm like, Star Trek, Star Trek, Star Trek, and it just makes me happy. Yeah.
Boom. That's the perfect clip. Yeah. Just like that's the intro. So it's like, so many things that I watch just have no relation to Star Trek, and then all of a sudden I'm watching it and it's like, Star Trek.
It's beautiful. It makes me happy. It probably makes my listeners go, oh god, she's talking about Star Trek again.
Or, oh god, she's talking about Star Trek.
What? Best day ever. I think I've gone through, like, I think there's been 2 episodes where I haven't talked about Star Trek, and I'm on episode 19, so...
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Like, the fact that I got through 2 whole episodes without talking about Star Trek, Shocker.
Yeah.
In general. So, that's just me. Yeah, I should stop talking about Star Trek so much.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Batman? Do we have anything else to talk about Batman?
He is the Dark Knight. He lives in the shadows. I like the fact that Dick Grayson is in college and is not in every episode.
That's also weird.
Also, Fear of Victory is a surprisingly good episode.
I was surprised by that also. Because, according to Airing Order, that's the first episode with him in it.
I think that is the first episode I saw him in.
He's also in Christmas with the Joker, which is the second episode.
Oh, yes. Okay, never mind.
So
first appearance of Joker. Why don't I have a note that says first appearance of Robin? That's weird. Yeah. Oh, maybe it's... So what I did was I watched Volume 4 so I can lend it to you.
Right.
And I think that didn't...
It didn't
trigger.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So Christmas with the Joker, which on the DVDs is the second episode after On Leather Wings.
Yeah.
Is the first episode with A, the Joker, and B, Robin.
Yes.
Is Harley in it? Harley's in it.
No, Harley's not in that episode.
No?
No, she's not. She is
right.
Not...
She shows up for the Joker's favor.
Yes, Joker's favor.
Yeah.
So if you go in the produced order, it's episode 22, which is pretty far down the list.
That is pretty far. I think it shows up earlier in the airing order.
I think so as well. Yes.
I will check. Joker's favor is episode 7 for the airing order.
Oh, okay. That is very early. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, she doesn't even do that much. She's just kind of hanging out.
Yeah. She like she drags the cake in, and then the Joker pops out.
Yes. So she doesn't really do that much. But there's also the episode where oh no, that is Joker's favor. Okay, yeah, I know. I was gonna make reference to the exact same episode because that's the one where the guy cuts him off and he's like, I got your driver's license and stuff, right? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then he changes his name and changes towns.
He moves and all that kind of stuff.
Trying to evade the Joker, but the Joker just keeps track of him.
Yeah. But I love the fact that character gets to the point that even the Joker gets scared of him. Because I think the Joker... Because remember at the end, he's like, I have nothing else to live for. And he's got like a bomb in his hand. And he's like, stop following me and whatever. And even the Joker's just like, cool it, dude. Like, you need to relax. What the hell? Yeah. Because I think Joker recognizes when somebody else has gone past that point. And he's like, the Joker is a psychopath, but he does want to live at the same time. Yeah. So he'll do crazy things and seem like he has a death wish, but he's like, I'm not gonna die. Batman's here. He's not gonna kill me and he's not gonna let me die. It's fine. Whereas this one, Batman wasn't around as yet. This guy shows up with a bomb and he's like, you gonna die. And he's like, oh shit, what have I done?
Calm down, Charlie boy.
Yeah.
Or like whatever he says.
Whatever he says. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very entertaining. Yeah.
So another thing that I've noticed throughout the series, anytime the Joker's driving, he does arm signals when he changes lanes.
Yes, I noticed that as well. Yeah. He does the full on like up side. Yeah. What is it? Down.
Yeah, down to brake, up
to turn.
Up to turn right, I guess, if you're driving on the left side. And then straight out to do the left turn.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that
reversed, obviously, if you're in England.
Yes, that is true. And I thought that was very interesting.
Or I guess Japan. I noticed it in Joker's favor because the guy gets on the Joker's bad side by like cutting him off and like swearing at him and stuff.
And then all of a sudden the Joker decides he's going to be a very proper driver and put on his signal and he's got his arm out the window and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But they still teach that stuff. Like if you get like a driver's manual and stuff, it's still all in there. Because especially if you like something's wrong with your signals and stuff, you need to know it. Yeah. But yes, I noticed that as well, and I was just like, oh my god.
And then it happened again in another episode. It was the casino episode. Joker's Wild. Yeah. And like in the casino, they've got like the original Joker mobile or whatever, which we'd never seen until this point.
Yeah.
But then, like, the Joker jumps in it and, like, hijacks it and, like, starts driving. And then, he's, like, as he's driving, like, Batman, like, swings in. And then he, like, makes a lane change and he does the arm signal. And I was like, that's super funny.
Oh, my God. Hold on. That also reminded me of one thing, and I need to look it up to make sure I am right. Mm-hmm. So, yes, okay. There is an episode where... Episode 28, which is the last episode of Volume 1, Dreams in Darkness, right? Where Batman gets exposed to something from the Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, so he needs to take an antidote, but the thing is the antidote will put him out for 2 days. But he's like, no, I need to solve this first and fix this before that.
Yeah.
But because of that, he ends up in a crash and ends up in Arkham Asylum. And this doctor's just like, no, you're crazy. It took you a long time to get here. You need to be here. And we will figure out the problem. Mm-hmm. But then... while being in there, the doctor runs off a series of names. You are just like Pamela Isley, Harvey Dent, and Jack Napier. And I was just like, who the shit is Jack Napier?
So I missed it in that episode.
Yeah.
But in the episode Joker's Wild...
do they make reference to it? I did not pick up on it in that one, then, if they make reference to it.
Yeah, so they make reference to it in Joker's Wild.
Yeah.
At the point in time where, like, Batman, like, jumps into the owner's office, he's, like, flipping through some dossiers, and he's like, and it's just like, the Joker, or it's like Jack Napier, aka the Joker.
Oh, I did not pick up on that at all in that episode, because I was just like, who the shit is Jack Napier? And because, like, nobody really knows who the Joker is.
Yep.
But then I remembered, oh yeah, Batman the movie came out before this show. And this show happened... and this show happened because the movie happened. Right?
Okay.
And so, because if you actually pay attention to the aesthetic style of it, even the two Tim Burton movies... yeah. They're Art Deco with modern technology. It's the same. It is the same sort of thing.
So I forget. Remind me. Tim Burton was the one with the Penguin. Was the second one?
Yes. So Batman with the Joker, and then Batman Returned with Catwoman and Penguin.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, and they got the leather suit that's like stitched together weirdly or stapled together. Yeah,
it's stitched together.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, so in the Batman movie, Jack Napier kills Bruce Wayne's parents at the beginning, or that's how it ends up working out. He figures out because have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then when Batman fights him at the very beginning of the movie, it's after his parents are dead, he's Batman. Yeah. And he falls into a vat, and that's when he turns into the Joker. Yeah. And that's Jack Napier, right?
I think you mean Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Or Nicholas. I can never remember between the golfer and the actor.
It's Nicholson.
Okay.
But the Joker is Jack Napier.
Okay.
Who is a thug for... Now that I think about it, who is he a thug for?
Is he a thug for Rupert Thorne?
If that is true, I am going to blow my mind.
It would not surprise me if it was.
Oh, it's Jack Palance. No, he's Grissom. A guy named Grissom. I don't know. But anyways, he's the crime boss. He's a hood for.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
But then he comes back and he kills him and takes over his syndicate. Yeah. And then he's the Joker. And that's the first time the Joker has a quote-unquote origin, quote-unquote, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know why I never really, I've been, because, there's the trailer for the new Joker movie that's coming out and all that kind of stuff.
I haven't seen it, but I hear that, from what some of my friends have been talking about, and this might have been in our Slack chat.
Yeah.
But, Yeah, it's like, the thing about the Joker is that we don't actually know his origin story.
Sure. And that is exactly what it is, and I think that's the point that makes him scary.
Yeah.
You don't know where he comes from. You don't know why he's there. You don't know what his actual purpose is besides creating chaos.
Just chaos.
But making a movie about the Joker's origin sort of defeats the purpose of it.
Yeah.
And also the way the trailer goes, it's sort of like
Spoiler.
You're supposed to feel sorry for him.
Oh.
You know?
I feel...
which...
Yeah, you're humanizing him.
You're humanizing. Which I don't think works well for the character of the Joker.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the trailer and the fact that Joaquin Phoenix is a good actor, I have a feeling it's going to be overall a good movie, but it's an unnecessary movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But after watching that, then I came to realize, I'm like, no, they tried to give the Joker an origin story before, aka the Batman movie, where Jack Nicholson, you're just like, no, he's a Joker because he was this guy and this thing happened. That's who the Joker is. Yeah. But they didn't try to humanize him. He was just a bad thug who went out and killed people and then became something else. And I think that's one of the reasons why when people talk about Joker origin stories, they never remember that because they're just like, he was just some asshole. Yeah. Whatevs, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas with this trailer...
people expect something that's more involved than that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And the thing is his introduction isn't that involved. You find out that he killed Bruce Wayne's parents for no particular reasons. He literally just he was a street thug and he wanted their stuff and he shot them for kicks. Yeah. You know? And then later on he gets his comeuppance by being pushed into a vat and he becomes the Joker. But he was always just an asshole. Yeah. And then he dies at the end and you're just like, meh, whatevs, you know? And then he comes back in when you have the Christopher Nolan movies and the Joker has no origin in that movie. But he is psychotic, and he's creepy, and that's part of the beauty of it. And in the comic books too is that every time they say that there is an origin, aka going back to that Harley Quinn origin story, he in Arkham Asylum he gives her an origin which is fake, which they iterate within that episode, but he just makes up sad things to quote unquote humanize him just so he can shoot people in the face, literally, you know? Yeah.
That's something that I've heard about Gotham, the TV show, is that they're sort of setting up a bunch of characters to be the Joker, where they have Jack Napier, they have other name that the Joker has been known to go by, or other name that the Joker has been known to go by. And so they've introduced all these characters to the show, and it's just like, okay, which one's the Joker? Yeah. Sort of like what they've been doing. I haven't actually watched Gotham, FYI. Yeah. But,
I haven't watched Gotham for about 2.5 seasons now, I think. And so they had introduced this one character who's a guy who's in a circus, right? Then they killed him, then they brought him back to life. But when they killed, when they first introduced him, oh, that's the guy who's the Joker. I don't remember what name he was or whatever. Yeah. But oh, that's the Joker. And they're they killed him. I'm that's not the Joker? That's weird. Yeah. And then they brought him back to life. We're that's the Joker. And then, like you said, they kept bringing in different people who could possibly be the Joker. Yeah. But this one guy keeps coming back. You know what I mean? And they just put out a teaser image of him the other day in traditional quote unquote Joker clothing. And oh, he really is the Joker. Yeah. But the problem is that the way they did Gotham is, I'm gonna bring up Star Trek again, is the same issue that they have with Star Trek Discovery, right?
Tell me more. Also, I'm 5 to 7 episodes behind on Discovery.
I'm as of today, I'm only 1 episode behind because finale is tomorrow. Okay. But the problem is, I'm not gonna spoil anything, is because they have wedged the show in such a way that they have to make timelines connect with each other.
Okay.
It causes huge issues. And
Right.
it's the same thing with Gotham, right? They wedge this show in a position where they're like, we're going to show young Bruce Wayne, but how do we keep people interested without the traditional villains, right? When they first started, they had a fresh villain that was played by Jada Pinkett Smith, and they had to get rid of her. I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that her villain wasn't interesting or anything, but they're like, no, we need to introduce villains that are known.
Yeah.
You know, so they're introducing Catwoman, they're introducing Penguin, they're introducing Firefly, they introduced did they do like Poison Ivy? They introduced a whole bunch of people.
I remember when they introduced Catwoman.
Which is
like
weird.
just his age.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it was just weird.
Yeah,
you know?
a little bit.
And because
then she lives with them for a while.
Yeah, because they're friends and stuff. And
Yeah.
he's got like a crush on her. And he's like, you know, I can tell you're a good person. And she's like, I just want to rob people. And
Also, Batman the Animated Series. Bruce Wayne falls for Selena Kyle right quick.
Real quick and real hard too. He was just like
love at first sight. Literally every other man in the room doing the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just like, she's a pretty lady.
It's kind of ridiculous.
It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. But it was the same thing when he met Talia al Ghul in that episode too, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'd do that. It's fine.
I haven't seen that one
I will
yet.
let down my guard for this." I was just like, "Okay, you do that."
Well, I guess I'm going to rob you then.
Yeah.
Or whatever she does.
But like, the problem is because they're trying to like wedge all this stuff in, and they're trying to make these connections that make absolutely no sense. It was the detriment of the show. Right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to introduce new people. You're allowed to make separate things. You don't have to make a direct connection immediately.
You're in a brand new universe.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
Do what you want with it, you know? And it's just created all these problems with the show. And I think the show, I know it's a superhero show, and I know there's already a certain level of suspension of disbelief. But even within that universe, I was just like, you've gone too far. Like, this is just ridiculous at this point. Like, you're not even trying. You're just going for spectacle. You're just going for, by the way, we've got the Riddler now. Oh, here's the Riddler, you know.
Also, he's 7.
Sorry?
Also, he's 7.
No, he was an adult. He worked at the police station.
Oh.
Yes. Spoilers, sorry. And yeah, like, it was just, I was like, I don't understand what you're doing. Like, there's no point to telling your story this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to do it that way, why don't you age him up? Like, there's already, like, a backstory to him being a kid. Even in this series, like, they managed to be like, as a kid, he traveled the world. He went to Japan and learned, you know, ninjutsu and karate and all this kind of stuff. He learned how to meditate with monks. He did all this stuff. Like, why not Bruce Wayne be a grumpy teenager, be an ass, and Alfred just be like, fucking do something. Just go fucking do something. And then we just follow him doing shit.
Yeah. Actually,
that would have been a good show.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Just be like, this is the season where he fights crime in Japan.
Yeah. Compared to him being a asshole teenager in Gotham City fighting criminals that shouldn't exist. So, there. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. Also, his Japan episodes, that second one, the Way of the Samurai. Yeah. It's Karate Kid 2, and I fucking loved it. It's Karate Kid 2. I loved it. It was amazing.
I do love me some Karate Kid. Show me Paint the Fence. We're doing the arm actions right now.
Yes, we are.
For those who can't see.
Everybody? It was so good. The only thing that was missing out of it was the Karate Kid 2 was missing the little Japanese like drum thing, you know, where you gotta have it in your hand, you know. Yeah. That's the only thing that was missing.
See, the main Karate Kid that I remember is Karate Kid 3.
Isn't that Hilary Swank?
Is it Hilary Swank?
It's Hilary Swank.
Okay, yeah. So it's the one with Hilary Swank.
Why is that the one you number?
I don't know. It was the biggest number. I thought it was the best.
You're wrong.
I was very young. But also the first one is probably the best, I think.
Yes. But don't they have like a Cobra Kai Netflix show or something right now, which I haven't watched
I don't
yet.
think it's Netflix, and yes. And also it picks up right at the end of The Karate Kid 1, where whoever, like, bad guy is, like, loses, and then he, like, goes into, like, a depression.
But I thought it was that kid as an adult with his own dojo.
Yeah, so he starts up the Cobra Kai dojo again.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think he's more humble about it. It's not like David Hasselhoff being a big jerk.
I don't know what that means, but
well, or like whoever was in charge of the
Hasselhoff.
Cobra Kai dojo.
Yes.
Before
the sensei beforehand, yes.
Yeah, who looks kind of like David Hasselhoff. Don't deny it.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm just gonna let it happen. It's fine. Right. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
But that's my understanding of it.
Yeah, I thought it was a joke for a long time, and then I actually got like a trailer for like season 3 or something. I'm like, this is real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been out for at least a year or two.
Yeah, no, I think they're on season 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just like, it blew my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not an actual thing.
I don't remember who does it. It might be Netflix. I don't think it is, though.
Well, I mean, there's so many streaming services out there. Like, it could be Hulu, it could be Amazon, or Crave, or... yeah. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could talk about Batman all night.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We've been talking about this for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's just so good. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess we can stop there.
I think we're starting to segue off we're starting to segue off a lot more.
Yeah, but the problem is we segue off, but we also, as in the segue, we segue to a Batman episode, and we're just like, oh my god, that reminds me of this thing, and it's so good! It
is so good.
It's weird, but it's not weird, it's amazing. Just go watch the show, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's, rewatch it, it's worth watching over again, and you would really, really enjoy it.
Final rating?
All of the stars.
Definitely 5 out of 5 batarangs for me.
Only 5?
Well, out of 5.
I'm only at 5 out of 5.
That's 100%.
I would say the number of batarangs in Batman's arsenal number of batarangs. So all of them.
Legit.
Yes. Done. Well, thank you for being here, Tim.
Oh,
this was a very fun, very long, very extensive discussion. I didn't realize I had, been talking for this long about it.
There's a lot of content to cut.
There is a lot of content to cut. I'm not denying it, but this is definitely going to be a long episode. But there's also a lot of content to talk about within this episode.
It's true. I mean, there's 50, 60 episodes in, like, quote unquote the first season.
Yes, alone. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So yeah, if you can get your hands on it, I suggest you go watch it. I swear to God, I'm not being paid by Warner Brothers about this or anything. Just look at it's just good. It's just good. Just go relive your childhood, or bring happiness to somebody else's childhood.
It's so good. Just watch the show.
There you go. Well, thank you so much again for being here. That is it for this episode of Off My Shelf. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ohmyshelf, or you can send me emails at ohmyshelf@gmail.com. The next episode is going to be a continuation of Bat-a-palooza, where we talk about the 4 movies in the box that I have. Batman, the Motion Picture Anthology, which covers the Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher movies from the mid-90s or the early 90s, or 1989 to 1997. But anyways, that episode will be here on May 6th. Until then, hope you'll be here to listen. I really need like a better end tagline.
Until then, have a good time. I don't know.
I'm Batman?
Yeah. Until then, I'll be Batman. Wait, no, hang on. You'll be Batman?
Somebody will be Batman.
Yeah.
I'm hoping somebody will be Batman.